How you never seen? Okay, we're gonna have black people movie now. Cause I was giving you stuff about Get Out.
I need a black.
But now
I
just
You haven't
assume.
seen Get Out either?
I assume that you've seen Friday
Canadians
at the least
That's how you watch
with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Never heard of it.
No.
So this is what I mean, guys. Like we're different. We're saying we're different. It's to us. It's like blasphemy.
I thought like
The Wayne. It started with the Wayans brothers. He was singing the Wayans brothers theme song. And Freddie B was like, "They said colored." We're like, "Yeah, it's in the theme song."
Yeah, I didn't know.
Give us like a Canada show just so we can balance this out.
Yeah, what's like a Canada?
Corner gas.
That just sounds like
Corner gas.
Corner gas?
Yeah.
With Rosie Perez in it?
No Rosie Perez is not in it. Corner gas is funny as hell.
Corner gas.
It's Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We need to have a
You
black.
guys, you guys see Schitt's Creek?
Yeah.
That's Canadian too. That's a funny show. Yeah.
With two eyes with two T's or something?
Yeah.
I've seen the name of it. I haven't watched it.
I need to watch Blockbuster on Netflix.
Oh, how is that?
That shit's good.
It was.
Didn't you just watch Justice League too? Was it
Man,
worth all that? Don't
no.
tell me the movie.
No, it's not. It's the same damn movie with the extra 3 minutes on the end. That's why I'm pissed.
Yeah, I said don't tell me.
But
the movie.
I thought y'all knew that though, because when I said y'all, I was like, yo, it's just the director's cut. So basically, it was the same thing, but he wanted to put out his version.
Okay, wait, pause. Because I don't follow like that. So there was already a Justice League movie,
which was trash,
which I obviously didn't see.
2017.
Oh yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah,
And then now you're saying, so this new one ain't really new.
No.
You're saying they just added on to the old one.
It's a director's cut.
I thought I had powers, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sitting in the house, obviously, I'm a little hungover, and I'm watching the fucking show, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen this, but I'm like, why? And it
I
just
know
keeps
what's gonna
going,
happen
right?
next.
And then so when you text us, you said that shit. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's the same movie, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just spent $20 to watch the same fucking movie that I could have watched for free.
That's why I didn't watch it, man. That's why I didn't watch it.
But you spent $20 for the extra 3 minutes.
Legitimately, yeah. And it's at the end of the movie.
Did y'all watch that movie I told y'all?
Nah,
Which one?
bro. I ain't had time yet. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Some of us got stuff to do too.
So do I.
I know. That's what I was saying.
I had to watch mine like in
the name
seconds,
of it?
like in and out. It's what is it? Man, I can't even pronounce it. I'm gonna get
Oh, the movie. Yeah. Mauritania or whatever.
Yeah,
that one.
Mauritania.
No, I
Mauritania.
can watch that.
Hey, where
You
that's
gotta
on?
watch it.
On Netflix?
No, Prime. You gotta.
Oh,
you
Prime.
gotta
I got
watch it.
Prime.
But it's good though.
I
And
just
I
got
will
business
say though,
on it.
like, and like all jokes aside, like if you have, I think it's epilepsy.
Yeah.
If you have epilepsy or you like that stuff bothers you, like there's a period of like where even for me, I was like, whoa, like this is like it was like
Turn
too
away.
much. Yeah, it was like too much.
Okay.
But yo, that movie had me in like tears, bro. Like I was like, yo, like I mean, yeah, and like I said, Ernest,
bro,
like,
I gotta be in the
It's a
mood.
military
Like,
movie.
yeah, well, so basically, it's a guy who was wrongfully. It's a true story. He wrote a book about it, but it's a guy who was wrongfully accused of being basically the head of or in cahoots with Bin Laden for the 9/11 attacks, and so they basically incarcerated this dude in Guantanamo Bay for 8 years without a trial, without any accusations or anything, and then I'm gonna leave it at that. Because then there's other stuff that happens that you're just like, yo, what?
Yeah.
And it's a true story.
We're gonna check that out, man.
Yeah.
But we gotta get Freddie B a list of black people movies to watch.
Facts.
But I gotta give you guys a list of Canadian movies.
Nah, bro, we're gonna start with us. Y'all
We'll
got
go
those.
one for one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So my friends are watching a movie called Slacks, which is about a pair of, it's apparently a horror movie about pants that eat you.
Yo.
It's a Canadian movie.
Listen, bro.
And on that note, we'll just stick to the black movie.
Yeah, bro, just-
I'm not watching no Canadian.
That's
That
almost.
man says slacks.
Yeah, we need something that you're proud of. That sounds.
I was about to
I
make a
haven't
joke
thought
about
about
it too. I was about to be like, let me guess, it's pants eating people. And
That
then
that might be all time worst, right next to a movie called Teeth.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you ever seen Teeth?
no, I don't know what Teeth
I
is.
saw
Body
Have you ever heard? Huh?
Body part?
No, a movie called Teeth.
Oh, no, I haven't heard.
Never heard. Never. I'm gonna tell you what it's about. You're not gonna believe me. This whole movie is about a vagina that has teeth inside of it, and it's a real thing
I got it.
in real life.
And people trying to
It's I don't know, like you can look it up. It's called like vagina dentata or something. And it's a
Wait,
real
what?
thing. Yeah.
Shorty can have teeth?
Like,
As we all pull
so
our
like,
phones out and
so
go,
like they
IMDb.
made it like a horror movie, but it was just called Teeth. So from the name, you wouldn't know that that's what they were talking about. And then you're watching it, and you're like, I mean, in like one of the scenes is like the dude was supposed to be giving like the pap smear, whatever he's doing the most, and then he trying to take over on girl, and then yeet.
So it's kind of like that Venus. What was it? That plant?
Why you making that face?
You know what I'm
Because it's
talking
real.
Yeah.
I know. You think I made that up? Teeth.
Seymour. You talking about
Seymour.
It's
Seymour.
real.
So it's like Seymour.
What year is
with the
that? Like
vagina version.
2010?
Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah, it's old.
Nah,
Yeah.
man. Yo, there's some stupid movies.
And that's
I watched
and
some
it's
stupid movies.
it's
Miss.
weird, but then I looked up like where
Miss,
it
no.
came from, and I
It's
was
a
like,
true
yo,
story.
this is a real myth type thing that they said existed on Earth.
Y'all saw Basketball?
No thanks.
So be careful. No.
Blood Brothers was trash with Trey Songz.
Well,
I've never seen this.
Oh,
Trey
yeah. I
Songz.
seen
That
that.
was trash.
what you thought Trey
I'm
Songz was
talking-
a
you-
good
y'all
actor or
are-
something?
No. I just like
It's
the
on
storyline.
Prime. It's
Yeah,
on
the
Prime.
storyline looked good, and then the way that the like preview, I was like, oh, okay, cool, low
Yeah.
budget movie. Like sometimes some of those be dope,
That's true.
but then I watched it and I'm like, I will say this: the storyline was like if you actually had real actors in it, I think it would have been dope. But like my problem is some of these low budget movies, they do certain cut scenes that you're just like, what was the
I
point?
mean, they
of that?
ran out of money.
Yeah, like what? Like,
But
why-
Friday was a low budget.
That's wrong. But
And
look at
an
the
instant
actors
classic.
that they had. I mean,
No.
what was it? Deadpool, the first one was a low, but bro, they gave that man like I think
There you go.
Yep,
All day.
that first one was funny, man.
Yeah.
Boy, he
All
was-
right, we're gonna jump into this thing. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome to another episode of Y'all Want to Talk About It. Yeah. All right, so straight out the gate, it's March Madness because we like to talk sports. I got a couple sports things. And Upset City is Duke. Wait, what?
Why we gotta go there?
Yeah,
man?
I didn't know.
How's Duke doing in the tournament?
We already, who's your team? Don't have one. Who's your team? Not in it. Who's your team?
No, what do you mean not in it? Gonzaga.
Oh my
I'm a
god,
Duke
you ain't
fan,
never
so-
said Gonzaga.
Bruh, I'm from what? What do you mean?
Nah,
Bro, I ain't never heard
Oh
of
my God!
Anybody ever
You
heard
one of
him
them
say
people.
Gonzaga? No, I'm
let,
just
let,
saying.
let any of my boys
Okay,
from
man.
college see this, and they'll be like, "Yep, he
I
been
wanna
repping
pull up- I
Gonzaga."
wanna pull up
Cause
your
I played.
IG.
Pull up a dude named Casey Calvary. I played against him in high school.
Did you really?
He
He's a
went
great
to
player.
yes, and when we played them at my school, we beat them.
All I'm saying is, I'm not saying.
So
that
I've
I'm
been
not saying- I'm just
Gonzaga
saying I ain't
since
never
like
heard you say this.
'98.
But I ain't never heard
Adam
you
Morris
say
in the
it.
Adam Morrison's
Adam
later.
Morrison, yeah,
Casey
he's later.
Calvary,
Well,
about
later,
6'8".
He was like Adam Morrison was like in the 2000s or something.
Dan Dickow, don't get me started, bro.
I'm just saying.
I'm
you
just
never,
saying.
I ain't never heard
I'm
you
just
say
saying
Gonzaga.
now
A Dan Dickow reference, man. That's we're
Okay.
going back now.
you don't just pull that out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
what you is
He was
about.
6'8". Good call.
I'm just saying. Dan Dickow is after Casey Calvary. But I played against Casey Calvary in high school.
He backed up.
This March Madness is trash though. Aside from the fact that Duke.
No, this March
Why
Madness is
didn't Duke
great
make it?
because
More upsets. Is
There
the
are more
upsets,
yeah.
what have you got? Ohio beat
Ohio.
University of Ohio.
Yeah, University of Ohio beat. We just watched it.
I don't know. Somebody good.
Ohio State
Virginia or
lost.
something.
Did Texas ever?
Virginia, they beat
Oh,
Virginia.
Ohio
I
State.
saw the team.
Which I like, and they got booted. So you can run on that if you want. And then Illinois just got
Who
by
did
a
Purdue?
little.
Did Purdue end up winning that game or lose? They played against a lower. It was
I
like
don't know.
like
Don't
Texas.
Scotty
something.
pick up something for them or something?
For who?
Purdue.
I don't know.
I
But
like-
when I saw the game, it was I forgot. It's like Texas something. They're like green, like their uniforms green something. But they were beating the bricks out of them. But I didn't finish it.
I
My
like the
only-
underdogs, though.
I love
like,
underdogs.
No matter what, like, and I know because right now Gonzaga's number one, so that sounds like. But I'm
No,
like,
no, no.
listen,
Purdue lost to North Texas. Just
That's what
North
it was. Yeah,
Texas.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like
They got beat bad too, right?
I remember when Gonzaga was quote unquote a Cinderella.
For sure.
So everybody
For sure.
would, and we would be like, no, you guys don't understand. Like they produce ball players. This
Yeah.
is when nobody cared.
Yeah.
And then they were shocking people. I think they went to the Elite Eight like 3-4 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple times to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And now it's like
They're big
they
time
26-0.
Yeah.
Now people want to go there. But I'm like, yo, I play in a basketball tournament called Hoop Fest in Spokane. Well, I used to every summer.
Mhm.
Biggest 3-on-3
Yeah.
on
team.
earth.
Yeah.
And that's where Gonzaga's not a big school.
No.
I think their enrollment might be like 4,000. It
There's
ain't
a lot of
nothing
teams.
crazy.
I love Cinderella stories, man. Like the year that Davidson, when they had
Curry.
I remember I was watching him the whole I was like, yo, who? Because I didn't know. I was like, yo, who is this kid? He's this tiny little kid, and I'm like, yo, this team about to be a Cinderella story. And then sure enough, I mean, he took him far by himself, and like those Cinderella stories, man, you can't. My only gripe with this year was I didn't like how some of the team. Like, I love the fact that these underdogs are getting the shine and they actually get a chance to play in the dance. But like, I just didn't like how some of these, like for example, like Duke. I mean, Duke was trash, but just they got booted out because of COVID, and then other teams like, and it wasn't even the team that they were playing. If I'm not mistaken, it was the runner-up after that got in.
Oregon got a free pass because who were they going to play? VCU, I think. They had like 5 guys all failed tests.
Right.
So the whole team was going to have to quarantine. They weren't going to be able to play.
Yeah.
So I got a question about this tournament. Do we have to put an asterisk beside the winner's name?
I've been saying yes.
Why?
It's been a weird season, right?
Is it the same as like with the Lakers?
Yeah, the same question. Well, I see.
So it don't count? Because what was the year when who won that? It was a short NBA season. Was it the Spurs?
Yeah.
Who won
We
that
should put an
year?
asterisk beside all the Spurs.
Right? Was it?
But anyway.
But it was the Spurs, right? So like,
So,
I hear what you're saying, but I'm like, they still have to play.
I'm just asking a question.
I wouldn't do that, but
Right.
I know like the Lakers won last year or whatever, right?
Right.
Like, and it's like, oh, that doesn't count, and I'm like, how does it not count? They still have to do the thing.
Right.
I don't think that it shouldn't. I don't like. I think that there's an asterisk, but it's more of like, it's not that they didn't put, because you're right. I agree with you. You got to put in the work, right? You still win, and I don't think that it's a matter of like it doesn't count. I just think that there's an asterisk because there's a lot of other factors that, you know what I'm saying, were eliminated from that. So like, that's just my only reason of like the asterisk is because
so many teams missed like weeks of their season
Right.
for COVID protocols, right? I think that it really plays into the hands of teams that have more upperclassmen, right? Because it's just so much easier for those guys to pick it up and start,
yeah.
they don't have to worry about finding their rhythm again. They know the offense, they know how to, all the defensive pickups and stuff like that. For guys that were all quarantined for 2 weeks at a time, and you had a bunch of one and done guys, how do they pick that back up?
Yeah.
It's really hard for them.
Yeah.
So that would be the only potential asterisk. But I think that we always see the teams that a lot of upperclassmen on, do really well in the tournament anyway, just because of the one and done nature of it. So,
And then you have the discrepancy on how the men are treated versus the women's been a big.
but did you see the video that they got the new weight room? Did you see it?
I didn't see that, but I saw the old video where they were like, girls' weight room.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
This girl on TikTok and was like, let me show you our weight room. And it was like a little triangle thing that held like
The little
like
barbells.
20, 15, 10, 5
Bro,
on
trash.
both sides. That was it, right? This little thing. And she goes, okay, now let me show you the guys' weight room.
Bro, yeah,
And it's like a
Olympic.
big old like squat racks and the whole 9.
Bro,
And
literally
then-
like Olympic style. Like
Yeah.
even to the point to like all the like the flat the racks on the bottom and then they had
Everything.
I mean, it was state of the art.
And then,
That was
but it
trash.
wasn't that they did it that trash. They told them that they didn't have enough room. She goes, let me show you our practice area. So there's a basketball court she shows you. And then right next to it is just a big old ballroom with nothing in it. But they said they didn't have space.
Wow.
Why would they not just make it one?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Frank
saying?
B.
What do you mean?
debate that.
Like just
So-
one weight room. Guys
Because the
are-
men are in a different place.
Yeah.
you talking
Yeah, they're
about
not-
in college, right?
No, this is at the tournament.
This is at the
right?
tournament.
So they're doing a bubble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a bubble. So all the women's teams are in San Antonio,
Yeah.
somewhere in Texas. Somewhere in Texas. Okay. So they put all 64 teams in the bubble wherever they are. It's a funny story. My chiropractor was telling me his sister works for the Michigan State. She's in the athletic director's office for Michigan State, and they were going to be an 8 or a 9. And he says, "Well, does it matter? Like you're playing the same team?" And she's like, "Yeah, it matters a lot. 8 seed gets to stay in the Weston, 9 seeds in the La Quinta. We want to be an 8." So anyway, so yes, they put a practice court in like the ballroom or whatever, and I have the TikTok here. That's the weight.
That
That's
was
the
what
whole
they
weight
gave
room
the
for the
girls.
women's. That's their weight room.
That was for everybody.
For all 64 teams, that's the weight room.
Everybody.
And then
Trash.
if you go, and then that's the men's weight room on top, right? I mean, they got a full. They're bringing in squat racks and plates and whatever, right? But they fixed it.
Yeah, because she put them on blast.
Yeah, well,
So shout out to her.
she put them on blast on TikTok, and then she tweeted. But then Steph Curry retweeted.
Kyrie
it.
Irving,
Kyrie retweeted. I mean, everybody retweeted.
I mean,
right?
these girls are. I mean, golly, bro. Look at UConn. I mean, like the runs that these women are doing are like they're putting. I mean, I think, and I personally like for the love of the game. I know a lot of people say they don't. I enjoy going to watch like elite women's basketball because the fundamentals that you see
beautiful.
is beautiful. Like it's like for me, it's like watching soccer. Like it's a beautifully orchestrated.
So they got a bunch. Like
Kobe
it
said the
goes
same
around
thing
big.
too.
It's beautiful, bro, because they it's literally for if you love the game, especially like what we were talking about today. It's like when you love the game, that fundamental aspect, like women have it. And then the fact that some of these women are coming out there and they got handles and they, you know what I'm saying? Like they're transitioning a little bit better. They're learning how to, finish more physically, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to like oh my God, man, it's a beautiful sport.
So there's been some people online have been saying, oh yeah, but the men's game brings in all this, extra revenue than the women's game, and I'm not going to say that it doesn't. However, there's a law that they got to spend the same amount of money on both programs, right? And they could. They also showed somebody else. Then I don't know if it was a tweet or a TikTok about the difference in the food too, right?
Oh yeah,
The
food.
men's
Oh,
food was
God.
like this.
It was like gourmet,
Very
whatever.
set up, and then the
And the
girls had
ladies
this
was
little
like,
plastic
welcome to
tray.
prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
like, it was like
some
Orange is
slop.
the New Black.
Yeah,
Go.
there you go.
Go perform after you eat
But
this trash.
But think about it though, like if you look at it, like that's been a problem along the way, right? Like most schools that if they're dominant, and like another one going back to March Madness that I've been talking about for a minute. I think the last two, I want to say two. It was either one or two March Madness before. As much as I hate to say it, but Alabama, their basketball team is started. But you look, all their money goes into football, right? So it's kind of the same, and that trickles all the way down to even elementary and everything. And then backtracking to our conversation about that, was it the JBA or whatever league that we were talking about? Like that's more the reason for a kid in high school to be like, bump that. I'm not finna go. If I'm not gonna start or I'm gonna be a red or whatever, I might as well go here and go make money.
Yeah,
Because I don't think, I agree, I don't think it's fair, but like that's a joke. Come on, man. Like they got the same amount of money to your point, but yet if they were to advertise and hype the women's, you know what I'm saying, the way that they do men's,
That's what we were saying. We said
it would be
It's
different.
still-
People would want to go.
There's still a element of marketing that doesn't really happen
Yeah.
for the women, and we were talking about that and how like unfair that is for them. Because I was telling Freddie B, I'm like, listen, I went to small HBCUs, and I know some girls that will give you a bit like.
Yeah.
I'm talking about crossover. It's a girl named Tanya, I remember, and it's a girl named Erica, and Tanya will shoot your lights out from three like nothing, and Erica was like young Iverson when we was in college. I'm talking about step back three. This is early 2000. Step back three, hitting girls for 40, 50. Tanya was hitting girls for 50, and it's like, so I've seen it at that level, and I'm like, okay, so here's this other level, but they've been putting out like the discrepancy in pay, like what they do, Sue Bird versus LeBron, and how much she's done versus him, and then the pay difference was like $35 million a year to $225.
Bro, our high school women's basketball, they were dominating, man. And I remember playing against Cindy. I don't know if she's still the coach, but Cindy, she was the coach, and she was nasty when she played too, and then became the coach. And I remember playing like AAU ball and all that stuff. Like she was coaching, and bro, she was running it, and then she took over the women. The women's dominated more than we did. We were trash buckets compared to what they were doing. But like they didn't have the newest jerseys. They didn't have the, you know what I'm saying, the same show out and support and love. And
That trickles through. I mean, that's like I went to Black University, same thing, right? Like you go and then it's like, man, these dudes could really play. Why are you here? And then you see the difference when like some bigger name school comes in and it's like, yo, they got this and this. But back to my thing about Gonzaga, people wasn't checking for Gonzaga back in the day. Nobody was trying to go there, right? But since they've been winning and making a name for themselves consistently, right? Like now, if you play for Gonzaga,
you're elite.
I didn't even realize they was 26-0. I just know like, hey, they always got a hand in it. They always are ready. So they're done with Cinderella, right? They're established. But now you got to think how much more revenue did that bring to school, because they weren't just a Cinderella back in the day and disappeared. They were Cinderella, and then they became the princess, and now they the queen, kings of the yo, we gonna go through this. And now, you know what I mean, they household name, but
we watched that game, their first round game, and they shot the lights. It was
they was up 30 at halftime. I was like, this is over.
Right. It was crazy.
You know what I mean? So where before it was just like, I remember people were like, what is that? They couldn't even, the announcer didn't even know how to say Gonzaga.
Right.
Well, I mean, it brings up the point, you know, that I made, like, growing up for me, like, in the time that I grew up, bro, like, the Big East was huge, right? Like, everybody was talking about, like, your Michigans, your Maryland, your Syracuse, Georgetown, like, those teams, but all those other elite schools weren't even being talked about, you know what I'm saying? But they were just as good, but they just didn't have the funding. They didn't have the, you know what I'm saying? And that, believe it or not, man, call it what you want, but that does play a difference, right? Like, you know, when you got the money to hire personal trainers and to hire the buses, like, it makes people want to play and be there, and then, you know what I'm saying? And
it matters.
It matters. What is it that
I was in school and I worked out harder than anybody that was on somebody's team.
Yeah.
They ain't know what they was doing. They just threw them, man.
Y'all seen The Last U?
Yeah.
You see how that coach, the assistant coach, what he does, bro? He sacrifices his, like, family time and everything, bro. Because bro, right before practices, all their jerseys are washed and they're hung. The shorts are hung, and he's like, you got to get these kids in the mindset of, like, you are an elite school, even though we don't have the funding and we don't have this. Like, you treat them like that, and then that makes them feel. Because, bro, if I came in, bro, and my jersey was hung up and this and that, man, I would feel like I'm in a like, how, like, for me, we played in a Division I for high school, but, like, our school, we had a state of the art gym, but we didn't have, like, we didn't get none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have none of that type of. We had crappy buses with no AC and, like, you know what I mean? And
the survival tactics.
And yet we had the talent. We had all the, like, there's so many kids in our division, because for us, like, in Colonial, it's all Latinos and blacks. That's all it was. Like, we were the majority, but kids with talent, man, they just weren't getting it.
They gotta go where someone. I mean, but that's across the board.
For
right?
sure.
Like,
For sure.
What you got, Fred? I feel like.
All right, I got numbers. You know how much I love numbers.
Me too.
Okay,
What?
so this is from
Say what?
the 1920 season, the 2019-2020 season.
Oh, I thought you said 1920.
I was about to say
I was
the same
like,
thing.
when they were shooting like this.
Yeah, right. Quick, nail a peach basket.
Bam, bam, bam,
Okay.
Dribbling around.
So everybody's talking about how the men's game brings in way more money, and therefore those guys make more money. Okay. In that year, the NBA's total, this is from 2017. NBA's total revenue was $8.76 billion.
That's it.
4.3 billion went to the players, roughly half, right?
Mm.
That WNBA's total revenue that same year was $60 million, and only 20 million went to players, so a third.
Well, third.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, they also said that
They only did 8 billion.
yeah, 8 billion in revenue. Their TV contracts like
That's not talking about merchandise.
no, it's
no,
just
no,
total
no,
revenue, right? Okay. Paid the average player in the NBA in 2019. Average player makes $7.32 million a year. The average WNBA player gets paid less than $80,000 for a year.
60. Yeah.
Now, most of those WNBA girls, because their seasons
play
are
overseas.
short, right? They also play overseas the rest of the season.
That's
Right?
where they get their money.
They play the whole year. Like, they don't take a break. So, because there's been some people that have opted out of the WNBA season, be like, man, I need to rest.
Right.
Right? That's happened several times. So, yeah, those girls work hard for
They make more money overseas than they do over here.
way more
Yeah.
money, right? Yeah.
They probably appreciate it a lot more too.
Well, that's the other thing
That's
too.
the
Is
thing.
I mean, look at what happened when you watch the Tony Parker documentary. Like, he was obviously he is what he is here, but then, like, the dude retired here, went to China, and it was like his whole career started over again. Whole new shoe deal, whole new contracts, whole new sponsorships.
I ain't watched that yet. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was.
It's like
I know
Stephon
Stephon
Marbury.
Marbury.
Stephon Marbury,
Yeah,
but he was the paving.
yeah.
He was the one that opened it up for everybody. And then, but yeah, it was the same thing. Like, Tony was, he was retired and doing his thing. And then, was it China? I think it was China or France. But and either way, it was overseas. But it was like his whole career started, almost as if he got drafted again as a rookie.
That's like, oh boy, what's his name? Jimmy
Jimmy
Fredette.
Fredette.
I watched his story, and it's like, yo, over here he barely got to play, even though he was a college sensation. He was that guy, and he barely, and maybe some of that's on him or whatever. But he went to China, and he's like that dude, and he got a shoe deal, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm over here to make a living doing this thing. And he's like, and then I get called up to the NBA to sit on the bench or play 2 minutes or.
I told you that story though. The Suns signed him a couple years ago when the Suns were really bad, and so they got blown out every night. So they would put him in. He got some minutes, and he never hit a shot. Like, he would be in and he'd just be chucking it up. He never
Well,
hit
yeah,
anything.
he has to, right? If I'm only gonna give you 5 minutes,
Yeah, he's
and I gotta
gotta-
prove myself in 5 minutes
Right.
versus you gotta think this dude was a star. So he went from never coming out the game unless he just needed a break for 2 minutes
Yeah.
to like, here's 5 minutes, do the same thing.
I understand that it's hard. I'm just saying he's had multiple shots in the NBA and hasn't been able to.
Hey,
I
he said he's
personally
fine
would rather
over
go
there.
overseas
Facts.
Mhm.
because China's. I'm just thinking from an earnings potential. I get what you're saying as far as the NBA and all these contracts and stuff, but in China is such a huge market that if we build it, if you like Stephon Marbury is a god over there.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're LeBron or you're Jordan,
Yeah.
you want to stay here and be the guy, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
if you're not, if you're a second tier player, you might as well go over there and be the guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Make your money, man.
Yeah.
Don't end up on OnlyFans. That's the goal.
OnlyFans getting paid. In sadder news, at least for me, I know y'all know I'm a huge LaMelo Ball fan,
Oh yeah, wrestling.
but
He got
I
hurt.
think he's out for the season. Yeah, he fractured his wrist.
Out for the season, I
I
think.
think
that's what
he
they
might be
said.
out for the rest of the year.
That's tough.
And
man.
he was leading all. He was second in scoring, but he led all rookies in rebounds, assists, and steals.
Yeah.
He's number one.
He's still probably gonna win Rookie of the Year.
He's
Yeah, I
good.
think so.
He's
But
good.
yeah, he played with it hurt, but they said they're gonna do a second whatever X-ray or whatever. But yeah, say he fractured
It's sad, man,
his wrist.
when you see that happen to players, man. Like,
But like everybody get hurt this week.
Yeah.
Curry got hurt. LeBron got hurt.
LeBron's out indefinitely with a high ankle sprain. They're saying
Yeah.
he's gonna be out for a while.
Yeah. So
Like he's at really.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
How many more games left in the regular season?
well, apparently they said that they're still making them play. So from what I read, it was supposed to be they're still making them have a 72 game season.
72.
So like after All-Star break, bro, like some of these teams are playing like 2-3 times a week. So
More.
that's-
There's back to backs.
Yeah,
all
there's
over the
back to
place.
backs
Yeah.
and everything, and like that's why you're starting to see a lot
Might
more
be.
like resting and
yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean, all that. And I think I get it, man. You got to make revenue and everything, but I don't know. I felt like
It's
they
the
should have
business
just
side.
that's the business side, and I
Yeah.
get it. But I think that also, man, like they should have just nixed this season, like did what they did and then just let it come back full circle. You know what I'm
Players
saying?
union pushed back hard on
Yeah,
that 72
yeah.
game season and
Yeah.
they lost. So
Yeah, because I mean that's a lot, man. Like you're jeopardizing guy, and then to hear like somebody like LeBron, like with his work ethics and the way he has his trainer, like this guy has a trainer for everything. You know what I mean? And so like he takes care of his body, and for him to be, not to say that anybody's less, but like to see that somebody who's constantly being conditioned, that just tells you how much is being torn on their bodies.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
a
gonna
lot.
happen. Like people gonna get injured or whatever. But like watching Charlotte was exciting.
Mhm.
Like their announcers are excited. I mean, they got a nice young team,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a LaMelo fan, so I was like, man. I mean, they played the Lakers the other day. I think he put up 26. He had
Their jerseys are cold.
0 at halftime, and he ended with like 26 and 10. Like
Their
so
jerseys
he-
are cold.
yeah. So he was like, and now to be out for the rest of the, it's kind of like, dang.
Well, that's what's sad, man. And then you just hope that they come back and like I said, Zion, huge sensation.
Dang, yeah.
Freaking Derrick Rose, man, I cried when
Yeah,
Derrick Rose
Derrick
got hurt,
Rose.
man. That was like he was
He's
probably
still-
on the-
He's still in
I
Detroit.
think
Where is he?
New
at?
York.
he just
He's
got
the
traded.
Knicks?
No,
Got traded
no, he
somewhere.
got traded somewhere.
So he went
I
back
think
to
yeah,
Chicago.
the Knicks. I think.
Yeah, he's
That
with
Is he
dude
back with the Knicks?
explosive.
Rose is that guy.
I mean, the whole
Really.
publicity, like the way they did his PR and like the video, you know what I'm saying, and him crying on Adidas, and like just everything. I was excited, man. And he got hurt. I was like, yo, like.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, but it's sad, man. It's sad when you see these players that are doing such amazing things to then get hurt, and it's like they don't recover or they don't play the same. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not the same when you get hurt, man.
yeah,
That's tough.
I believe it.
Yeah, he's with the Knicks right now.
Knicks.
Knicks still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish they weren't, but they've been trash since Patrick Ewing.
Brooklyn gonna take it if LeBron.
Oh, Brooklyn. Yeah, they just got Blake Griffin too.
Oh yeah, they got.
Now he like, let me show you I can still play.
Right.
Yeah.
He was like chilling.
You mean
and
he
he's
wasn't
like
playing
chilling.
hard in Detroit?
I'm shocked.
Who plays hard in Detroit since the Bad Boys?
Yo,
years?
I will say though, man, that
Or Rip
dude, that
Hamilton
dude's
and them.
story is legit too, though, man. He went from being this, Aaron Gordon type dude to then all of a sudden developing a 3-pointer to then developing a mid. Like he changed the whole game, and that's something that to me I feel like. Yeah, bro.
He was married to
Blake
Kim
changed
Kardashian.
Oh,
which
didn't
that'll ruin your career.
Then he turned into a point.
He
guard.
was?
married Kim?
Wasn't he? Didn't he date
No,
her?
I don't
No,
think
that's
so.
the other guy.
I know the other dude.
I'm talking about-
He dated her
talking
for.
about-
Didn't he date her for?
Oh, Humphrey.
Humphrey.
Yeah, Chris
Yeah.
Humphries did. Did he date? He dated her
Everybody
for a
that had
while.
my
I'm
baby.
gonna look it up.
Damn.
That's your
She
baby
on the team
to the
too.
street.
Hell yeah,
Come on,
her and
man.
Cardi.
You like girls with
Oh
tapes.
my god.
They ain't official unless they got a tape out there, huh?
You got, you know,
Nah, bro. Keep the
Yeah,
tapes
see.
in house, bro. You tripping. They public knowledge.
Kim about to get that bag. Kanye just made that. he worth
Bro, did
like
y'all
$6
see
billion
that
or
post?
something.
That was the realest post I ever saw where they were
Hey,
like,
man.
Kim and Kanye split up, and they gonna make Kanye out to be the bad guy. Yet Kim already been through 3. So who really the problem? Like it was like some meme like that. I was laughing. I was like, yo, but
Damn,
they
she
ain't
has
gonna
been married 3 times.
You like that, though.
Mhm.
She fine.
You like
Actually,
that.
no, I like her sister, her older sister.
Chloe.
Is Chloe,
no.
not the one that be
Susan
with.
Thompson?
No, not hell no, not her. The
I
older
don't
one.
follow that trend.
Courtney.
Courtney.
Why do I know who these people?
Courtney's bad, yo. She's the only normal one. I feel like.
Normal?
Yeah.
She get no work done.
Crazy.
No work. 0.
I don't follow like that, but whatever.
Oh, I got it wrong. Blake Griffin used to date Kendall Jenner. I knew it was one of them. They're all the same to me.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
She was in the family.
We gonna move on after that.
Wait, there's an article here: 10 athletes who dated a Kardashian. That's
Oh.
gotta be
Oh,
the
only
abridged
10?
version.
Only
That's
10 you
gotta
know
be the
about.
abridged version.
Yeah, 10 we know
Top
about.
10, right?
And
Yeah.
Kim is 9 of the 10. She just passing through.
Like,
Like, hey,
Oh,
sister, he good.
Chloe's had a few
Like how
too.
dudes be like, yo, old girl.
Chloe's going through a couple.
They got their resume up. Yeah, Lamar, they had that do anyway.
Strung out.
Right.
What?
That Arby's.
Kardashian's got all the meat.
Yeah.
What? Oh man. So, anyways, in more negative reality news, I know y'all heard about the dude that went and shot up the Asian people in the.
I was in Atlanta when it happened. You were
Yeah,
there?
it was in Atlanta. This dude went into
I was in
the.
Atlanta last week.
Was it nail shops?
Yeah.
Wow.
Massage parlor.
Yeah.
Here's the. Go ahead because
What
you
happened?
was there. So.
So pretty much, there's a guy. He pretty much, I guess after like a massage, I'm not sure what happened, but he killed like 8 people, like, and they all was like Asian. So everyone like pretty much with the stop the like Asian hate, and then the police tracked him down all the way down to the middle of Georgia, and then he got apprehended.
He's
But-
still alive. He's
But I'm
fine.
like, how would you survive that?
Here's where I have a problem. With the little young or whatever, police
I'm
chief
just
or
like,
whoever,
wow.
Yeah. That,
who's just like, oh well, he was just having a bad day, and I'm like, that's your justification, like, cause of a bad day, like,
you killed 8 people.
like one, you shouldn't even be alive.
That's a massacre, bro.
You shouldn't even be alive. There should be no, hey, take him in
places.
and whatever.
That's a,
Right?
that's a
Like you
massacre.
killed some people in one place.
And
went to
it's
another
like-
place, yeah.
There's always this justification, and it's just like, yo, cause you had a bad day,
I know.
you took 8 people's lives, and you get to just get handcuffed regular and just walk on into the.
Not even beat up.
Bruh, not a
Shot.
taser, not a
Yeah.
shot in the leg,
Yeah.
nothing.
But you see those videos all the time, man. You see those videos all the time of
I
like
know it ain't
a
new,
dude
bro.
out there and he's like, you see some crazy hillbilly dude. I'ma kill you, cop,
Yeah.
with a knife, and they're just like, sir, just
That's
calm
facts,
down,
too.
son. Da-da-da. And then it's like all of a sudden, let it be a Latino, let it be a black that just like, yo, man, I'ma grab my.
He got a knife.
Right.
You know
But
what I
nothing,
mean?
even if you hit.
Yeah, you be lying down on the
It's
ground,
like,
right?
and then still, and that narrative is the same. Well, I feared for my life, and so the ignorant public will be like, well, he was terrified for his life, he's just doing his job, and it's like, yo, this is like kill at will. Like, you can't feel like, yo, we're being hunted in the streets by these people that's supposed to protect and serve, but protect and serve who? And I'm not saying all cops are bad, like nobody's saying that, but that's what people run with.
Yeah.
Like I done had my situations with police, I'm still here, right? So it's not all bad,
Right.
but it still doesn't take away the feeling of like, even here at your house one time, you guys were gone and you was like, set the alarm, and I didn't do it right. So now I'm already like, yo, my life is in danger because the police coming,
Yeah.
and people don't know what that feels like. They think, oh, you're just making that up, you're just being extra. No, I'm not.
It's real.
Luckily,
It could be any day.
the cop was cool. Like, I was like, hey, man, I'm just house sitting, but like, I didn't set the alarm right, whatever. And he was like, cool, no worries, just give me your name. I'm like, this is my name. Cool. But it ain't always that way.
Yeah, because it could have escalated.
I was super afraid actually. Was that on a plane? Because I was super afraid when
Y'all all went somewhere though.
Was that when we went to Wisconsin? I think it was when we went to Wisconsin. So
Somewhere.
I was super because I didn't get the call. Normally the alarm company would call me. I'd be like, it's fine, right? But I didn't get the call because I think it was on a plane. And when I landed, you told me the cops. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it worked out. But
It's man, it's crazy, bro. I had a conversation with a commander for the police department. I was just like, listen, man, like if I may, like I'm military, like I got a question for you. I said, is it the lack of training that you guys are getting?
Nah, not at all.
It is.
no, it is
Right?
I
And
know
I'm gonna
that
say
all
this,
the
and I'm gonna say this why? Because you look at in the military, you have an 18-year-old kid. He gets shot at, right? Bro, there are like, you got a radio up, contact coming in, where's it at? Can you identify? Can you this and that? Can you engage? Roger, engage, cool. All this happens within seconds, right? It's an 18-year-old kid. So his first thought when he's getting shot at is, hey, break, contact, whatever. You got these dudes who freaking walk up to a car and now, I fear for my life, so you know what I mean? So he goes, how much did you guys train? I said, well, bro, we stayed in the field 6 months out of the year. He goes, right. And he goes, and so you want to know how much hand-to-hand combat my guys go through? And I was like, what? He goes, 4. I said, 4 what? He goes, 4 hours a year. And he goes, and then the problem is that we can't allocate enough bodies to allow these cops to train properly, right? Because I asked him that. I said, yo, you mean to tell me 4 dudes can't hand-to-hand take down 1 person? That you got to immediately go for the gun? And he goes, and this is us talking clearly, we understand there's the bad apples, right? But I'm saying in the overall picture, right? If there was more training, more understanding on how to diffuse situations, this would be, you know what I'm saying? This would be a different, and I'm not saying it would change entirely, but when I'm looking at an 18-year-old kid who's in theater, who these people are trying to kill you, right? Can stay calm, collective, and assess the situation. But you got this guy in a traffic stop that just pulls out and busts 7 shots. Like, you know what I mean? Not even 1 or 2. And he goes, he's like, I'm not saying that's a justifiable answer, but yes, that does. And I was shocked when he told me that. And I said, he goes, you know how often we go to a shoot house? I said, how long? He goes, bro, we maybe go once a year. So these cops they go through their little 2-week joke of a training that they do. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're thrown out into the real world to deal with real life situations. And bro, like like I told him, I said, these guys should be trained. Like when we're not training, we're doing other training, right? But these guys, when they're done, like, I'm sorry, bro, you raised your hand, you took an oath. This is your career. So when you're not training, no, you don't get to go home and just chill and, you know what I'm saying, relax or whatever. You should be doing some sort of online training classes, some sort of hand, you know what I mean?
I hear you. But I think the other part of the training is like, well, how many of y'all really deal with black people or people of color, right? Because the assumption is, if I look like this, I must be a rapper or a drug dealer.
For sure.
If I drive the car that I have, I must be doing, so I can't be somebody who works hard and does all the things right.
But that's
right. I can't be that. Out the gate, you're in fear. But I don't have nothing. You got everything.
So everything you guys just described, that is the whole concept behind defund the police. We can have a whole different conversation about whether or not that's a good name for it. But the whole point is that the way that it's currently funded is set up to fail the way that you described, right? There needs to be better training for firearms. There needs to be better training for hand-to-hand combat. There needs to be better training for, I don't know what you want to call it, but what you described. I don't know if that's.
When you're dealing with people that's not of your racial background, don't look like you, because if you have 0 to, I have 1 black friend, no, and you sit and I don't know if you watch TV and movies or listen to music, right? And then that becomes your reality of like, oh, well, this is how they are.
But see, a lot of that too leads to, there was another point that I had asked him, because I said, that was my first point, was there needs to be better training. And I said, the second thing is, and I said, don't take this offensively, I said, but you need to wipe out all these, and y'all can hate me for it if you want, but all these racist ass, old ass white people that are sitting in those high up chairs. Because what's happening and we've dealt with it, right? You don't want to be a blue falcon, right? You don't want to be blue on blue. You don't turn on your people, right? There's this code of honor that's there. But what happens is somebody like me who sees something that's right, or sees something that's wrong, and I'm in and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna speak up, right? Well, guess what happens? Now I got the entire force against me.
Right.
But that spawns from these upper tier managers and supervisors that are sitting up there that are allowing that situation when somebody comes in and says, yo, I thought this and this, instead of saying, no, bro, like that's a reprimandation, like that's wrong, because that's not how people should be treated. But they're saying, fuck that nigga, he's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be all right. He probably was doing something. Right, as opposed to
well, it's always that.
It's always that.
Oh,
right?
we found this, and then it's
he was doing something, and then it's like, oh well, he didn't. Here you go. Right. Well, now you just.
But this dude killed 8 people, and again, we done seen this movie before.
Yep.
Right. You get to go to Burger King. You get to do whatever. They might take you to the mall. I don't know what they. And it's like, oh, well, just take them in, and then you get justification though.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a bad day. Can you imagine if we did shit like this?
Right.
Because I'm having a bad day.
Right.
Here, this whole shit would burn down. What?
Yeah.
A bad day? Cause what? Cause he can't get no grade. I need one of these dudes ain't got no something wrong, but not to that point.
And then to turn around and say, oh, it's because what did he say? Because they're sex workers and the temptation.
Yeah, he was an addict.
Right, he was an addict.
Bullshit, bro. Like it's all bullshit, man.
But he only killed Asian sex workers, right? Yeah.
Who cares? It's a person.
No, but he's claiming. But there's a whole racial element to that, right?
Got it.
Yeah, and he's saying, no. It's just that he's trying to say that it wasn't. But I mean, come on.
And so then the thing was happening now is like, it's like, you got whatever, Black Lives Matter. Now you have this movement of like, stop the, being Asian hate and whatever. And I'm like, no, call a spade a spade. And how do we stop white terrorism? Like, let's call a spade. Don't put it on us. Don't put it on them. Let's talk, because this keeps happening. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe. What you mean you can't believe? They know to some degree, well, they not going to kill me.
Well, that's the conversation.
I'll go to jail. They're not gonna kill me.
Right.
Oh, and I can say, oh, well, I'm mentally whatever. And now if I'm mentally unstable, I might be able to just walk out and go about my life.
Well, that was like what happened to me that day with the car thing, and when we all talked about that. And that's why I really stand behind that, man. Until the consequences outweigh the actions of these individuals, it's never gonna stop. And until they're the ones staring down the barrel of the gun, right? It's not, and I'm not saying that literally, but in a sense, yeah, it is literal. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, with the dude with the whole, the George Floyd thing. Like I had said it, I was like, so now, like, bump that. No, don't try to prosecute these fucking dudes. You know what? Let somebody run up in his house, skull drag his ass out in the public, put the gun to his head, and do the same shit. And let's see how the game turns then, right? But that's the crazy thing, is that we don't want that. But that's the perception that they put out, is that that's what we want. And so now that all that tells me is that you fear because of whatever your personal fears are. We don't want that, man. I just want to be able to walk into a room or apply for a job.
We just want to be able to do regular stuff,
shit,
like
man.
Everybody else.
But all of a sudden it's like, because you sag your pants, or you did, or like you a thug, or you. No, man. Because guess what? There's honkies out there that walk around, and I'm gonna call it like it is. With, you know what I'm saying, being hillbilly, and I'm like, come on, man, like that, I get fired up with that.
Just call me.
But it's true, man. It's sad, bro, because and I love that you said that, bro. Call a spade, man. It is what it is. Stop running and diffusing, and then I hate the word. It's like, well, we're gonna do this, and then you get this whole movement of false movement of people that are like, man, I want to support you, brother. Like, man, bump you, bro. Don't talk to me. You ain't never talked to me before. Like, why don't you call him, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you call that person a racist? Let me hear you say that.
I told him this before when all this was going on. It's like, man, did you see? I said, I don't care what street you paint. I don't care how many words you put on a jersey. I don't care about none of that.
That don't mean nothing.
Until shit is changing where you're like, oh, now you paying the consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
That's why people is doing this stuff. There ain't no consequence.
No.
That's enough to make them be like, well, maybe I shouldn't do that.
But then there's the other side of it too, where unfortunately you have our own people that are okay with accepting. Oh man, they put up Kenyatta Street Avenue, right, man? They're doing something.
But
and
you
it's
have
like,
to understand, it's like if I'm starving to death, and you give me some crumbs,
For sure.
that's gonna taste like filet mignon
For
because
sure.
I didn't have
For sure.
nothing.
Right.
So yes, I agree with you, but we will celebrate these seemingly victories because it's better than nothing, which is what we're accustomed to, and saying, well, they did this, and it's like, but if you just step back and really look at it, you'll be like, man, they ain't doing nothing. They doing everything else
they do, and that's my point.
except for what we're saying. Hey, can we not just be treated fairly? Obviously, the answer is no.
Right.
And it haven't changed. Like, I don't care about, like, what is it, NCAA, is the Jersey say equality. That's cute.
Yeah.
I just watched what this dude did, though. And he's still alive, and he gets to go to trial and gets a due process and all this stuff. Meanwhile, young little black kids like Tamir Rice and all getting murdered. And it's like, well, they shouldn't have had on the hoodie. Or, oh, no, he shouldn't have had these Skittles. Or, oh, well, he looked like a monster. And then it's like, oh, yeah, little black kids look like monsters.
Bro, that's why I was telling y'all to watch that movie, man.
We gonna watch
That
it,
movie because it goes into that same topic.
So, all the shit that went down and started this, George Floyd, those dudes in, where was it, in Georgia, where those guys, that guy that was jogging,
Yeah.
Man, you can go even back to the.
No, I'm just talking about when all this shit started, right? Yeah, no, I know that. But where the revolution started really happening in this past year, right? With the whole, all the marches and everything like that. I mean, George Floyd really sort of was the thing that kicked that off. It started with that thing in Georgia, right, where there was a lot of outrage. But so, and that's where we've seen the street signs painted and the jerseys and all that stuff that you're right doesn't really mean anything. However, when those people were arrested, it's taken until now to get to trial. So all that stuff was the only thing that could have been done until then. So where we're really going to see some change is if these dudes are found guilty, right? If these guys are found guilty and go to jail, that's when.
Hopefully.
I understand what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying.
You saw what happened with the, what's the name? Breonna Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
With the boyfriend.
Yeah, with the boyfriend, but the court case, how
Yeah.
they didn't even charge him for the murder. They were charging him for shots.
Yeah, reckless shooting or something like
shooting
into another apartment or something.
Into another apartment.
Yeah.
So
But
he didn't get charged for what happened.
But see, there's another factor of that too, where it's like you just said, it's taking them up to this point to be prosecuted.
Right.
Bro, we get hit up on something like that
Tomorrow,
we are
done.
in jail, locked,
It's
no
done.
visitations, like A1. You know what I mean? So
It's
even to
done.
that extent,
I agree.
it's like, damn, man, like all we're saying is, look, man, because there are some ignorant people of our own kind that do stupid stuff, and you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But to that same point, like, I agree with you, right? Like, yeah, we're waiting to hear that, but why do we have to wait? Because how many people of color are wrongfully accused and convicted, like that movie I'm talking to y'all, and time goes by, and then they just turn around and be like,
we made a mistake.
We made a mistake, bro, my bad. Here's your bad.
30 years in, but you could go now.
That's the thing that sucks.
I'm not saying we're going to get to equality tomorrow. I'm not saying that.
For sure.
I'm talking about change, right? And there needs to be some positive change. And I feel like things are, I know you don't. I know you feel like it's the same shit over and over again, right? But to me, it feels different. So I mean,
in what sense? Like,
just the whole. I mean, I look at my social media feeds, right, and I see people that have never said anything about any of this kind of crap before, talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about what can I do to support, what can I do, right? The sentiment is changing. So those old dudes that you're talking about that are in charge in the police department, they're not going to be able to get away with that shit anymore because other people are going to hold them accountable. The same way NCAA girl puts up a TikTok and holds the NCAA accountable and they got to change. We have videos of George Floyd now. Like you said at the time, that shit's been going on forever. We just didn't have it on video before, right?
Yeah,
so these things are changing, and I think that people. I mean, did I really understand what it was like to be a black person in the United States until you were basically living in my house during quarantine? No, I really didn't understand it, right? But people are getting out there and explaining it, and I think a lot more white people are understanding. And I really believe, just from my side of it, from the people that I talk to, that I associate with online, that they really are, a lot of people's minds being changed and a lot more understanding happening. It's going to take time for that to sort of flow through the system and get to a point where we're talking about equality.
It's a good word, right? Because you said the system, right? And
Yeah.
that's the problem.
It is the problem. I know. It
that's
just
the
can't
problem.
change
So until
tomorrow.
that, cool. But that's why it feels like, oh, we made progress, and then, oh, we right
I know.
back. Psych. You thought you had progress. Let me show you something
Right.
again and again and again. And so sometimes it's frustrating or whatever. And now, you know, there's this whole thing even about like the, you know, Stop the Asian Hate. I have friends who are like, yo, people been saying this about me since I was a kid,
Right.
or treating me this, or telling me I got chinky eye, or whatever, right?
Right.
So it's like, I'm saying until we come together
Yeah.
and say, hey, that's enough. So you put your hands on her in front of me, you gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
Whether that's a 2-piece, whether you catching the face, whatever it is, right? Like, you know, like there was this 76-year-old Asian woman who beat up a man for assaulting her.
I saw that video.
And he was like 39.
It's kind of
It's
funny.
like, dude, just ran and like hit, she ain't do nothing to him.
Yeah.
Luckily, she was like, bro, I ain't for that fuck shit. Like, hey, bop, bop, bop. And now he playing low-key the violin. He in the victim mode in the stretcher like, what? She hit me. Bro. But the audacity that you feel like
It's okay.
you get to just run up on, and luckily she was enough to defend herself.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, who was around that's like, that's where we're at. Like, oh, well, just let it happen.
Well, because more people are subject to. I mean, like,
Or the dude that got hit with the
The
what was
dude-
the T?
yo,
The in the corner store, and the dude was like, "Hey, bro, don't call me the N-word again."
Oh,
And he
that
had
was
the
good.
T in his
oh
hand.
yeah,
He gave
yeah,
him a 10.
Oh, I warned you. Don't. Okay.
yep.
Catch this T. I think he got a deal from that. Now he got like a deal with the T,
Something.
whatever that T company. Yeah,
Drink
because
this
it went
tea.
viral. Yeah.
I didn't see that one. I saw the lady, the same thing. She was there. She's like at the gas station, whatever. She's buying candy or something like that, and the lady behind her in line called her the N-word. She's like, "Say it one
Oh,
more
the
time."
black woman.
Yeah, the black
Yeah,
woman.
she
Say it
beat
one more
her.
time, and she just slapped her.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That
And-
T one was
and
fun
then-
because that whole thing just slowed down. It
Oh,
was like,
I
boom,
Yeah.
and
I
just,
need to see that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So
But it's
that's
true
like,
though, man.
you know,
It's
so
still
it's
nasty.
happening, but it's that where it's like, I try my best to like protect my mind, and we talk about this all the time. So
Right.
I don't like seeing a lot of like, don't show me video. Like I don't want to see someone else looking like me getting shot or whatever,
Right.
or being, you know, oh look at this police thing that happened to this person, because then in your mind you're like, well, I'm next,
Yeah.
Right.
no matter what, like. And I've been there, and I try my best to like, it's a power thing, and try to let people feel like they got all the power. But you got this, you know, these dudes who, like you said, maybe they're 18 or whatever, but like, you don't sit down and talk to people like me to understand maybe some similarities, but most important, what our differences are. You don't care. It's a power trip. Oh, I'm gonna show you I'm more powerful than you. Well, you got guns and shit, and I'm just sitting here. So why do you feel threatened?
I'm defensive.
You insecure, you got little dick energy. That's what it is. At the end of the day. So now you gotta flex your muscle. Like, bro, if I do something, if I didn't put on my turn signal or whatever, if I'm speeding, fine. Just treat me like, hey man,
Just right
let me
on
get my
ticket.
ticket.
Go, man.
We don't gotta do all this. You wanna go to jail?
Guns
What?
got wrong.
Why? And then for people to be like, well, yeah, you should have never been speeding in the first place. So I'm supposed to lose my life over something that everybody does?
Right.
Meanwhile, when it's you could talk to them any old kind of way.
But that's the whole thing, man. It's the fact that they know that they can get away with it. It was like when we talked about the lady that almost tried to run me over, the white lady that tried to run me over. Like, she knows. Like that's why I was so
That's why
hot when I was
Karen's be
talking
like,
about.
I'm gonna call them.
Yeah, man. Because and that right
I'm gonna
there,
call my people.
that right there, the fact that they know they can do that is literally, if you could sum it all up on what we like and what people are just asking for, like the equality of like, yo, just do it the same, is the fact that like well then hell, I should be able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, there's a Karen
And
out here.
and that's
You know what
been
I'm saying?
happening a little bit,
It
right?
is,
But the reality is, in our culture, we like call the police.
Right.
Naturally, we ain't
Nah.
calling nobody. We gonna figure this out.
I might go to jail.
Right.
So we ain't even calling them.
Yeah.
You
Right.
call on some regular stuff, and now somehow you getting hemmed up. And
That was actually what you said to describe. That's the best definition I've heard of what the whole police reform movement. Someone said, what should it really look like? And they said everybody that gets arrested should look like a white kid getting arrested in the suburbs.
Yep.
Because what do? They're like, oh, you're a good kid. You're on the football team, whatever. You can go, whatever. Well, I'll just let you off with a warning this time. You guys ever get off with a warning when you could pull
Boy,
over by the cop?
hell no.
I do because I'm military.
Oh, dude,
That shit don't work for me.
Dude, that's
They look at
you
me.
a
they
hothead
like,
though.
No, not when it comes to that. Though. Not when it comes to that. Like I'm mad cool.
Chad's
Like,
seriously thinking about
the
it.
only thing that I did was I
I
made
put
a
on my
joke.
white voice.
Do you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
for
right.
sure.
Yeah.
I
Nah,
just try to
I'm
shift the energy to like
Super
I'm
positive.
a just
Yeah, pretty
I answer different than most. So it's like, oh, you got any guns and weapons? I was like, nah, bro, I don't live like that. Oh, you got any drugs and stuff? Nah, bro, that's not my lifestyle. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to give them the most non-threatening,
Right.
even though I'm already a threat.
Right.
Where my hands is up like this, and they're like, you don't have to hold your hands up. I'm like, absolutely, I do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, the conversation for me usually turns into something fitness. Oh, you like your workout,
like
whatever.
because you're holding your
And
hands
I'm
up
like,
like
yeah.
this. Yeah.
And it's like, but I'm like, oh yeah, well, yeah, I don't live like this. But from my answers, they're kind of like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, I don't do that for a living. But like, I've been in situations where it could have gone left multiple times. Like there was times in Washington where I was locked out my mom's house, and I would just climb through the front window because I knew how to get in. I knew it was open. But respectfully, a neighbor, somebody probably called and said, hey, it's probably the boy who lives there, but just go check. And the police were cool that I dealt with. It was just like, hey, like I'm in there making pancakes. So I come to the door with a spatula and like, what's up? And they're like, hey, got a phone call. I'm like, yeah, that was me. Well, for future reference, right, just get a key or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I left my key in the house or whatever. Now, back then I didn't really see it that way. And now because you get bombarded with a reality, which to me is like some gaslighting stuff, like how often do we see the positive side?
Do we? I don't.
It's very rare, right? Oh, these cops pull up these little black kids playing basketball. They terrified out the gate.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
And then the cops is like, yo, I'm trying to hoop with y'all too. And then it becomes a feel-good story. But we're like, well, how come all of y'all can't be that way?
Right.
But initially, everybody's like, what do we do? We're in trouble.
Right.
So the psychological game that has been planted and whatever, that's what it is. So now you got people running around attacking Asians and whatever. Yo, like, you gotta be at some point ready to fight back because this woman was 76. What did she do to you?
Dude,
She popped that guy though.
Oh yeah, she gave it to
I
him.
gotta see that one. Though.
I'll show you guys that video. It's
She
great.
gave it to him, and rightfully so. But that's what I'm saying. But imagine if she wasn't that.
No, I know.
Was someone gonna help her?
No.
Right? Like that's the thing where it's like, oh, pull out the phone, record it. No, beat his ass. You just touched an elderly woman at that.
Right. I mean,
But shout out to her
who's the comedian that says if I'm getting my ass beat like Rodney King, don't stop filming, come and help me, right?
Yeah.
Like, right. Our question, and we're probably gonna go sideways here, but I've seen a couple of tweets, and everybody has come after these people who have made these tweets, but there's some people in the black community that are not supporting the Asian community.
I know why, because of Asian history with black people.
Right. So I'm just curious as to what's the story there?
Well,
You don't like you nobody.
yeah, I mean, you gotta, so there's black people that are looking at the history of our relationship. Because right now it's like, here we are saying, hey, leave them alone.
Right.
Where they're saying, you can't come in my store. or they calling you the N-word,
As
or
a
they're
recent
accusing
incident.
you of stealing and you didn't
There
steal.
was a guy here.
So yeah, the guy here
The
did
Asian
that
dude,
and was
that
calling the
guy
dude
all
all
time.
type of N-words and whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw
So,
that. I saw that.
People are looking at the overall history and saying, pause, wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
you guys aren't on our team,
Right.
so why are we over here like, hey,
Trying to help.
stop the Asian hate and whatever? And it's like, well, y'all hate us too. Wait a minute. And that's what you're seeing is the people that know, wait a minute, man, this is the history behind. Y'all got a museum, I don't know if it's in China. There's a museum somewhere where they had like their depictions of what black people were. And it's like monkeys and like this, there's a whole other, this is why I be telling people it's levels to stuff. No, I don't want you getting beat in the street or whatever. But there's the other side of me that's like, welcome to the party. Now you understand. Now it's, hey, what about us? Well, we've been saying this.
Right.
So now it's you. Now let's come together.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some people in our community that's like, wait a minute. Y'all don't fuck with us either. So take that and deal with it. And I understand both sides. I really do. Where I'm like, yo, our experience with y'all haven't been great like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's Asian owned hair care stores that was, they sell all to black women and then was treating them some type of way and whatever, to where people start saying, hey man, we gotta open our own stuff. Cause why am I giving you money and you don't trust me, or you calling the police on me for just asking about some hair or some shampoo or whatever? That been going on. The whole joke of the hurry up and buy and all that and get out. It's been that. So that's what you're seeing on Twitter, because there's people that's like, wait a minute, man, our history is not, it's not like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yet here we are saying, come on guys, it's what we do. That's why when he said, yo, we're not like, hey, we're just like, yo, let us just be.
Right.
We are very forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
This whole
Well,
shit
you
should
have
be
to be
burnt.
Damn.
Right.
Bruh, man, if that dude did that because of a bad day,
No, yes.
Yeah, it's true.
if we acted like that on the regular, you might could pinpoint at one. What's the dude's name? What's the dude that was, man, years ago in DC, and was it him and his son?
Oh, the DC
Donor.
Oh, Dorner. Chris Dorner.
Like that?
So Chris
You
Dorner
don't
was
know
like
about
a
that?
Navy SEAL specialist. And
Mhm.
then
That
he went on
nigga
killing
was
spree.
riding.
taught his son too, right? How to shoot.
Oh,
They
this
was
is where they were shooting. They were in the
in
trunk
the
of the
trunk.
van.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
driving
yeah,
and he
yeah,
had his
yeah.
son in the trunk.
Right.
laying
I just didn't
people
know
out.
his name.
But that's like a one-off.
Yeah.
Did they take him in?
Yeah, I mean, they were in jail, right?
No.
No.
What?
The
They
kids in
killed
jail.
the hell out.
Did they really?
No, they like followed him to his house and,
Yeah.
and just was like, okay, we just gonna burn the whole house down.
Yeah.
That's like that.
Yeah, there was
But
no.
the kid's in jail. The son or the nephew or whatever, he's in jail, right?
Could be.
Maybe the son. I'm
But
talking about
like
him.
him,
Oh,
They
really?
followed him to his woods, and then
He had a
they
house
said,
on
"Oh, he might have traps there, so we just not gonna deal with it. We just gonna just
Then burn down the whole.
burn just the whole
Nuke
thing
it.
down and,
Boop.
and just kill him like that."
So there's that. Whatever.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. We are forgiving.
Extremely.
And it's crazy because the perception or the way we're painted is always like so violent and so whatever. And what about Chicago? People always do this stuff where they take some hood shit and they're like, well, what about you guys killing each other? That's our business. What the hell? That's our business. Like you care.
But the truth,
Like you was going to South Side of Chicago to try to help them?
Right.
Bro, the truth is,
You're
man,
not.
is that like when you grow, like you see it in the military all the time, bro. Put the military out on a 30-day field problem. I promise you, there's some hands being thrown. By like week 3, there's some hands being thrown. Like people, because that's just what it is. And my point to that is, you want to ask about Chicago, you want to ask about New York, you want to ask about, well, that's because this is how they live
Right.
365 days out of the
Right.
year. That's why it's so hard when you meet somebody from Chicago or from New York or from Philly and you try to bring them to something like this and say, hey man, There's, this is how you can move. This is how you can bet it. They don't understand that because all they know is, man, where my welfare check? Where my this? You know what I'm saying? I got to make moves. I got to go sell drugs. I got to go do this. And it's the same thing like when we in the military, man, you put us 30 days in the field, you start going crazy. You live with someone, you put the three of us, you put all four of us for a month straight with minimum food, you know what I'm saying? You like, eventually one of us is going to have an argument.
Right.
And that's just, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the reality. So imagine you take an entire city, a block, a neighborhood, and these people, you got to walk every day. You walking into your projects like, I hope this dude's not here. You know what I'm saying? And then you trying to run down the hall to get to your freaking door or whatever the case is, man. It's like, that's, you want to ask, and you're right, bro. Like, why do you care? It's not like you out there trying to make a difference.
That's all I'm saying. The people saying it don't care what's going on.
Bro, look what's happening in Brooklyn right now. In Brooklyn, there's a thing that I follow. It's like Bronx something or whatever, right? And it's just funny videos, but it's videos of people in the Bronx, I think, or in Brooklyn, right? Because they're rebuilding Dumbo and all that. Yeah. Bro, there's tourists in these areas. I'm talking about like the Jesus sandals and the cargo. You know what I'm saying? And they in there taking videos and like, wow, look in New York City, and the people in the back like, these people, man, they gotta be drug dealers. Like, they gotta be looking for some coke or something. Like, bro, nobody in their right mind would go to these places. You know what I'm saying? But it's because of that, man. They about to change it. They about to, and that's why you see it a lot in Hawaii too. That's why the Hawaiians are so like pissed off with haoles, man. They hate that's what they call the haoles. And it's true because you got these people, man. They're living they're taking a regular house, man. If they were to pass code on some of these houses out there, like these people would not like. It's literally like a house like this, but there would be like 10 individual apartments within. Like there would be 4 different rooms with 4 different entrances and kitchens, and I mean, shit that just would never pass code. But that's because that's the only way they can live. Because then they turn around and take out Kaka'ako, which was like the hood. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, bro, that is like $1 million. Like you can't get a 1-bedroom studio for less than $1 million there. So what local native is gonna afford that? So when you're driving down and you see and stop the gentrification, stop the hotels, stop this and that, and then people are like, yo, and I'm like, I mean, you can't knock it, man. Like I respect it. Like I'd be mad too, because it'd be different if you were coming in and saying, hey, listen, we gotta buy this out. You know what I'm saying? But because you've lived here, because the case is this, let me help you figure out a way, right? Like clearly we know it's not gonna happen, but that's my point. It's like that's not happening. So instead, you're just coming in and being like, yo, pack your stuff, you got 28, get out. Or you could buy $1 million person. You know these people can't afford that. You know what I'm saying? So now that's the game. So you force them. Yeah, you forcing them out. And it's like, it's just.
Then who's supposed to work in the hotels?
We the ones that do it.
That's why the hotels cost $800.
We the ones that do it. Man, when I used to build stairs, I remember going and I built stairs in high school, man. I pulled up to this one house and I saw every time we went, and we used to drive like 2-3 hours all around to new development homes. And man, I used to always see the same crew out there. And I was like, yo, I pulled him aside, a Mexican guy, and I was like, hey man, I said, how much you get paid? He was doing baseboards and all the house. I said, how much you get paid? He's like, man, we get like 25 to 75 cents a foot. And I was like, yo, so that's why you guys are here at 4 in the morning till 2 a.m. at night, right? Working in lights like this, finishing the jobs, right? I went 3 houses down. Saw an American dude doing the same job, and I was like, bro, how much you guys charge, man? I'm trying to transition over, and he's like, oh, you know Stars? Yeah. He said, man, we start you off at about $25 a foot, and I'm like, yo, and then here's the kicker. Guys like that would be like, man, I'm on, right? Start an LLC. I go and I work, I make $25 a foot, but I'm gonna turn around and hire the Mexican dude who's gonna knock out 10 houses for a little bit of for a fraction of the cost.
For some Filibertos.
But then you wanna be quick to be like, oh, get these immigrants out of here and this and that, or black people, well, you ain't gonna do the job.
Well, they ain't
undocumented workers.
They got a lot of free work.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but then it's a catch-22 because you can't fault the individuals who come in. And they're just like, look, man, like I can't, like that's my argument with that, not to get off topic, but that's my argument with that topic is like the whole system is like, yo, my pops is like that. It took my dad over 10 years and he went through all the paperwork, did everything he was supposed to do, all the stuff. And you talking about over 10 years and he's got kids in El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, dog, like at some point, I would turn around and be like, yo, you know what? I've been trying to do it your way. So I'm done. I'm going to go work under the table, make my money, send it back home so my family can eat and live like kings because I can't get them to come over here. Like, but yet you get these people that turn around and they're like, oh, send these people back. Okay, cool. Take your white ass out to the damn fields and go sit out there and see if you're going to be picking strawberries and cotton.
Whatever.
400.
Right.
So
That's all I got to say about that.
we'll saw it, you know.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful people. So we're gonna move into this next area of. You all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
You awful quiet today.
I'm going to take a nap after this day.
A nap
A nap.
before tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're just gonna sleep till tomorrow.
That's what I'm
Chad's got to learn his lesson about
Man,
Saturday night.
he
That's
don't-
his problem, right?
he young.
He
He got
won't.
that young. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now he over here like
Don't answer the
Charles
door when
Barkley
they knock
on
the door.
TNT.
He gonna party like
Turn
it's
your phone
1999 every weekend.
You never
Good
stop.
stuff.
You know that do not disturb mode on your phone? You familiar with that?
That don't even work because they just show up at his house. They just be showing up at his house.
Not no more.
Oh, my
Yeah, your shit
God.
take
That's one. That was that the first one.
Yeah.
That's one of that. Nah, you done started
You
it
started
now.
it.
know, right?
No, you can't now to the new crib. New crib, you gotta do like.
Bro, that is like a fort, bro. And then he purposely will walk you through 6 different levels
Nah, he's smart.
and then circle back around.
Yeah.
Good luck. If you figure out where I live.
I was like, bro, we both got lost that one time. He was like, bro, I forgot
I
where
just
I'm
be
at.
like,
You got lots going on.
I just be like, come out to the front. Meet me in the front.
He was
bro.
like, because he was
I'm
showing me
about to go
around, and then I was like, we were going up and down. I was like, bro, what floor? And he's like, bro, I forgot which one I'm on.
Because all the floors,
They all
look
they even
the
got the
same.
same picture when you walk out of the elevator.
Yeah.
So it's confusing. You like, oh, I was like, bro, that's genius.
That's hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
genius.
So we're gonna get into this new segment of the show called
Where
They Do That At? You know what I'm saying? Apparently, Miami, my old stomping ground, Southbeach, they done went ham and cheese
Mm-hmm.
because spring break,
Cubano style.
you know what I'm saying? They done acted a donkey out there. And so they just put a curfew on them, 8 o'clock.
Huh?
Oh,
In Miami?
Oh,
Miami,
bro,
boy.
let me tell you something. I
That's
seen a
crazy.
video.
Me too.
And I know where it's at. I'm like, yo, I know that street.
I bet we saw the same video.
It was some girls out there twerking in the middle of the street.
Oh my God.
So I'm already like, where your daddy at? You got problems.
Mm-hmm.
Call what you want. And then there's a dude who tried to like dine and dash, you could tell, because he's running from like, the dude got on the aprons. He running from them. They hemming him up. This all happened at the same time.
Two
So
dudes.
it's like, pick which, it's at an intersection. Like,
Mhm.
here goes some twerking. If you want to watch that, cool. You know what I'm saying? Silhouette challenge in real life. And then you see this dude over here running. He getting hemmed up. It looked like a
Oh,
TV
my
show.
Bro.
Then he kind of chill.
Start
You know how
walking
we
back.
do. Start walking. Snapshot a runaway, fell again. They done jumped on dude. So they said it was over 1,000 people been arrested.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me tell y'all something though. Because spring break, there's certain times in Miami, South Beach life where it's just the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Spring break is one of them times.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on whose spring break it is and who's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for someone who worked in that, it's nothing like Miami is when everybody ain't there.
Yep.
So this wasn't shocking to me when I saw the video. I was like, yeah, it looks about right. Because this been happening for years. But they had to claim, like they had to declare a state of emergency because it was too many people. There is no social distance. There is no mask, no 50% capacity. They like, man, we out here because it's open.
Yep.
But it's a lot, like, there's so much that comes with that, right? Like, I seen more fights and more drama during spring break and Memorial Day weekend for years than when it's not that,
Yep.
it's chill. Even as someone working in security, when it's not that, black suit, tie, look clean, look
Yep.
fresh. Oh, spring break, Ernest and them coming? Red security shirt, camo pants, boots, and bring your weapons, tasers,
Yeah.
the little hit stick,
Wow.
everything.
Bro, and then all the people that
and-
you see with suits and booted and everything, they gone.
Oh no, they hire an extra, probably, I don't know, 67. The thing is, we in the club are a team.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not go anywhere without each other. So we stay in a group of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 10 groups of 5 everywhere when it's spring break or it's Memorial Day weekend. Normally, I'm on my own. I'm in the front checking IDs. I can walk through all by myself, nothing. It's night and day. So for me, this wasn't I was like, oh yeah, that's about right.
One of the articles I read though said that part of the problem is that Florida's open, and a lot of other places where you might normally go are not fully open yet, right? So everybody's like, well, we're gonna go to Miami then, like, and apparently they were like running promotions. Oh yeah, come here for spring break.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were asking people to come, and then everybody showed up. They're like, oh damn, we didn't think you were all gonna come, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And Atlanta open though too.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah.
My sister.
Atlanta's open, Texas is
Miami's
open.
a whole different.
But Miami was like,
Yeah.
everybody come here for
Because
spring break.
even like in Orlando too, when they have what's it called? It's Black College Week. It's at the top. But anyhow, that bro, you go like International Drive, like in Orlando, like we're all like Universal Studios and all that, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I used to work. I was in high school, man, and I worked at this like golf cart or go kart place. And like I used to sit at the top and just like watch down, and bro, it would just be donks, bro. Like I'm talking about
Yeah.
box Chevys on
like
36s, bro. I'm talking about blowing out windows from the sound systems being so loud, like swerving in and out of lanes. Like I'm talking about, bro. Like it's one of them joints where you like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, and then you start looking for like the opposite side of like Orlando to go.
Yeah.
And Miami's the same way, bro. Like,
spring break, bro. We used to have meetings. You know, spring break start. This week is from New York and Chicago next week. And you know, like, and it's barricades everywhere. This stuff ain't there on the. That's why I'll be telling people, you want to go to Miami with me? We're going on regular. I'm not going on nobody 3-day week because I know it's a whole different. But it's money for them. It's a money grab. But you got to deal with all the extras. Like, man, people are.
Bro, it's
seeing that video, I was just like, man, of course y'all doing all that down there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's ruthless. It's not what you think,
Everybody
man.
can get down there.
Right.
It's not the Miami that you think, man. Like you hear any of those things, man, it's like, nah, bro, I'm not going over there.
Well, you were telling me that Southbeach is not the spot anymore.
Yeah, my boys down there is like, there's a place called, I think it's Windworth or something, that's more like probably like an old town where there's multiple bars and whatever, but it's like, I think it's Biscayne more downtown. So, but they probably did some remodeling, some more gentrification, because downtown was like you didn't want to be. There was there used to be a club there called Metropolis, and I never even went, right? But like every night, someone would be like, "Yo, man, they just had another shooting at Metropolis." Like every it was like, "Bro, again? Like how are they open?" You know what I mean? And so there's a huge difference between like Miami, and Southbeach. Like in Southbeach was like this thing.
Right.
And now my boys that are still there are like, nah, man, Southbeach ain't what it was.
Southbeach used to be so like I remember like growing up, like the start of it. Southbeach was so dope. Like they had it so on point that, bro, if you were caught driving down the strip more than like 2 times,
they was pulling you over.
they were pulling you over.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing?
Yeah, you can't.
Oh man, I was looking for boop, fat ticket.
Yeah.
Boop, yeah, like, and then you would even
For cruising or whatever.
Yeah,
through it. So you get one pass, and then you could roll the dice on that second one.
I know.
And it's like, you know, it was just different. It was a different element. It was a different vibe. Like, and then it was cool because you had different pockets, right? Like you knew you can go to this side if you wanted that like Cuban, you know what I'm saying, type of Latin vibe where you in the white, you know what I'm saying, and the pants and you vibing out, good food, good music on the beach. And then you had like other areas, and then you had, you know, the hood and the strip clubs and all that. But then everything just started shifting in. Because everywhere else in Miami, I tell people all the time, like, yo, everywhere else in Miami, like, people think Miami's like, oh, I'm gonna go live. First of all, you're about to be humbled real quick. Like, I told one of my guys this, and I was like, bro, you about to be humbled. He's like, man, we going over there with like 10 bands, bro. I said, okay, cool.
Nothing.
He came back and was like, yo, he said, bro, we met these chicks there, this and that, da-da-da. He's like, bro, she paid the whole tab, and it was like 25. And he was like, they just paid it like it was nothing. I was like, I tried to tell you, man. He was like, yo, Miami's I said, I told you, man, Miami's different.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I said, everywhere else in Miami, like Hialeah and
Yeah.
like you know what I mean,
That's where I was
Dade Count,
at.
all that. Like I was like when I used to, my cousin lived in like where was the Dolphin Mall, whatever.
Dolphin Mall, yes.
like that whole area, like it was cool.
Yeah,
But even
Pembroke
then, bro,
Pines.
you still had to like. You still had to like walk around and watch where you. I remember I used to go hoop in certain parks and like you had to watch like certain things, or you turn around.
Cafe Iguana, yeah, that was.
Hit the little.
But I was. Oh my God, he said Cafe Iguana, yeah. So and that was the difference, like you would get.
Oh, that was good, Ernest.
You
Yeah,
get
you could
both.
merengue too.
Like you could go to the beach and be bougie with the stars and everybody somebody, or go to Cafe Iguana. You still gonna have fun,
Still gonna have fun.
but some shit might pop off,
Yeah.
and that's the chance. Like
Right.
even outside my school, there was a building called the Omega Center. We were talking about fraternities and stuff, right? And that's where we had the parties where technically it was off campus,
But it was like.
but it was in the neighborhood.
Right off.
Right.
So it wasn't just us. And you would get, I mean, no one never got shot there, but you know, cats would be shooting in the air, like all type, and you don't even know. You just like, man, we're going to party. And you just in one room, just sweat box, like crazy. And then you go to the beach and it's a whole different, like, yo, you walk in this club, it holds 5,000 people, the lights and bottle girls and a stripper pole and the hottest DJs and all your favorites from there, like everybody. I mean, I saw everybody that I wanted, like,
It was
and then
night and
after a
day.
while you be like, there gotta be more to life. This is just like, and that's why now I'm so chill. But when I saw this, I was like, of course that happened.
Miami
But
to
can
me
you
is
imagine
like
an
New
8
York.
o'clock curfew?
Bro.
I would be pissed in Miami if I got like 8 o'clock.
People don't even. You don't even start getting dressed till 8 o'clock.
No,
But then what's funny
we
is
don't
that
even
they-
go out, bro.
Nah.
We wouldn't even go out till 1 o'clock.
No.
Like when you live there, you like, these are tourist people hours.
Yep.
Right.
Me and my boys be sitting at the crib like Cedric, you wanna go to the beach? It's already midnight. He like,
Mm-hmm.
man, let's go. You shower, do all that stuff. It's 1 o'clock by the time you get, and you ain't tripping. It's just getting started.
Yep.
Right.
That's why
Now,
like, if
I
you go
don't
anywhere
know.
else and it's like
But
9 o'clock,
8?
you like what?
8?
Yeah. But what's crazy is too is a lot of those people that are gonna try to leave to go back. Now they gotta go back to wherever they at, and most of those cities are requiring the vaccinations
Right.
and all the other stuff. So it's like they bounce to go there and party, and now you got this curfew, and it's just like, man, like that.
Man.
Yeah, man, that's.
So that mean ain't none of them clubs and stuff, none of that's open anyway.
Nope.
If you shut down at 8.
And then I'm more than likely positive that the like the liquor and everything, because once they enforce like at 8 o'clock, then you know liquor's done at like 5.
Right.
You can't buy no liquor
Yeah,
at
last
5.
call's 2 in the afternoon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
This,
wild.
the article said that they shut down Ocean Drive even for vehicular traffic. You can't even drive on it.
That's the spot too.
Right.
Well, when you live there, the last thing you want to do is get on Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It is the last street you want. You do not want to be on Ocean because you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
It's like,
Yep.
and like
Try to get over on the lane. Good
you
luck.
gotta find a little. We used to always find a little parking garages in the cut. Just park and just walk. Don't even turn. If you turn on Ocean, you in trouble. Especially for spring break, because you gotta think everybody's spring break is different.
Right.
Like for these schools.
Yeah.
So it usually lasts from like March to, I feel like it's like the middle or end of April. So you'll know because you get all these IDs from Arizona and wherever,
Right.
Colorado,
Right.
and then the next week it's New York and it's, you know what I'm saying, Philly or whatever. But 8 o'clock, there's nothing you're gonna, like, not, daytime you can go hang out on the beach. But South Beach is not cute during the daytime.
Mm-mm.
It is not. You be like, ew, this place ran down.
Mhm.
And then at night, you walk into a building, you're like, damn, this is what they be talking about in them songs. Yep, this is it. So I think that's funny, but I wouldn't. Anyway, I got other stories about that. I'll leave them alone. A lot of Miami stories, a lot of South Beach.
I dig
Keep
it.
that off the podcast for now.
Yeah, we talk about
There's a lot of stuff in there, but yeah. So I don't know anything else. Nothing. Nobody. You don't want to go through the vegan snacks you found out about?
Which did we talk about? Oh no, the Unreal ones.
No, man. like things that you didn't know were vegan that
Oh,
are.
that was good. I don't even know what I do that article. That was great though, man.
I just had the Unreal Snickers.
They got Snickers.
It's like a Snicker. It's
They got milk in it.
no. It's the Unreal.
I just had a peanut butter cousin.
Yeah, I did the Unreal coconut, they're like the almond joy ones.
Gotcha.
I did those, and then I bought, it's like an orange bag, and it's like a Snickers, but it doesn't. It's more, I don't know, because it's the caramel in it and stuff.
All right, check down because I know they make both, right? Like some of them are
Was it pretty good?
are not.
It was
vegan.
it was good. Not like my go to, but it was good. Like I liked it.
You know what I found? Since we talking about vegan snacks, I found some vegan gummy bears at Sprouts, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, that was the article. I was like, what was Swedish fish or
Swedish
vegan?
fish.
Yeah.
which I
Sour
know
Patch
that.
Kids are vegan.
Oh, really?
What?
Twizzlers are
Twizzlers.
vegan. I'm like, how do these things not have?
I
sugar
kept
in
telling
them?
them, yeah, well, that was the only thing because I was like, all that chemical stuff don't come from animals, so it makes sense. I mean, but there was some of it was like, okay, Cliff Bars, and we're like, all right, bro, we knew that.
Right.
And was it Nature Valley granola?
Yeah, like obviously.
Okay.
The one that the Sour Patch.
Sour Patch caught me off guard.
The one that made me go, what was the Cracker Jacks? The original flavor of Cracker Jacks. They said some of the new flavors
Yeah,
are
you
not.
say that, but I was like, it's Cracker Jack.
Caramel almost always has dairy in it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean you can just do like burnt sugar, but they almost always put butter or cream in it. That's why that one shocked
I
me.
haven't had a Cracker Jack in
Bro,
a
I can't.
Years.
I think it was a
minute.
bit
With the little.
Yeah,
You trying to all the way at the bottom,
Yeah.
dump them out of the bowl. Just to see what
Yeah, there was some stuff on there that was like, what?
I mean, it doesn't mean you eat it all, right? Like Oreos are on there, and I know you don't eat Oreos, so.
Well, I mean, you know, my Back to Nature cookies is shitting on Oreos. And
Right.
all
I
that.
got the whole line around. I ain't even.
Dino's like,
playing.
oh my God.
You know, I just
Oh,
picked up the soft chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I know.
Man,
But
but
that's a picture. I'm like, bro, you gonna leave something for anybody else?
but no.
He like, it's 2 for $7.
Yep.
Look at my
But
cart. I'm
they
like,
got me though, cause I opened them up and I thought, man, bro, they like this big.
they got,
So
they,
what
hit
I-
you,
yeah.
they hit you with the portion
Bro, they
control.
hit me
Don't
with
be
the-
mad.
Nah, that's just me, bro. I ate the
Don't be
whole
mad.
thing.
Serving
was
size
expecting-
2 cookies.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
don't be
dang.
mad.
I'm talking about they like the size of Skittle. I was like, yo, but they were good. They got like a nice like salt taste to it too. They were really good.
Skittles were vegan too. Did you know
No.
Skittles
I
were
didn't-
vegan?
I
Are
didn't
they?
know that.
Yeah.
I like Skittles
Yeah,
too.
I
I
like
just
Yeah,
know
Skittles
that.
are vegan actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I eat
That's a
Skittles
lot.
all the time.
I don't think
Oh, I had the
eat
fishless
Skittles. How was that?
bussin'.
He texted me like, he called me like, hey bro, I'm in the store, I need your help. And I'm
Nah,
like,
cause
"Yeah."
so I'll tell you what happened, right? Is I'm always leaving work. Like these last couple of days, I've been leaving work late, and I'm just tired of like Chipotle or like you know what I mean, this fast food. So I'm like, yo, man, like if I'm gonna have something like that, I'd rather just have it at home, where you know what I'm saying, instead of spending the money. And then half of the time it's all trash, anyways. Like, so that's when I hit him up. I was in the store. I was like, yo, I'm just gonna load up on like the chicken nut, the Gardein chicken strips.
Yeah.
The fish, and then I saw the fish.
Oh, you did the Gardein fish?
Yeah.
Fishless, what are they? Fishless?
Fishless,
Something.
yeah. So it's
And
crazy
I never
because
had
they,
them.
it's crazy
Just
because
like
they
them.
have
I-
it has like the same texture as kind of like the chicken, the nuggets or
The
whatever,
strips,
the
yeah,
strips
yeah.
or the nuggets. But it does. It's weird. It has like you can. It kind of has like a fish taste to it, which is kind of weird. But it was. I had it. I put some
How did they
seasoning
make it taste
in it.
like fish?
I know,
Well, you know,
right?
I mean, like, how did they make the chicken taste like chicken?
I don't know.
That
That's
jackfruit shrimp that we had
Yeah.
at the strip. it
Nah,
actually
that
tastes-
crab cake thing,
Bro, it
or whatever
actually
that
tastes
was.
like
Oh my
shrimp.
god! Oh, I haven't had flavors.
A
yet.
lot of that stuff, but that's what like sometimes it weirds people out, right? And that's why it's like some stuff I'm like, man, I don't know, but they did it, so like I'll just roll with it.
Whatever, I'm gonna eat it.
Like a girl at Sprouts in the cashier, like I get these tempeh strips, so there's like buffalo. I think the flavor's like buffalo, so it looks like orange, but they're like this thick and they're probably this long, right? And so I bought like 3, because people always want to know where you get your protein from. Okay, so one of these things is 18 grams of protein. There you go. So Lifehouse
Yup,
makes them, right?
yup.
And then they make like bacon strips, like tempeh bacon that are thinner, right? I just season them the same as I would if I was eating meat. But the girl was like, yo, you gotta make a sandwich with these. And I was like, what? Like literally it was just ringing me up. She was like, you gotta make a sandwich. And I'm like, well, give me keys to the city, how I do? She's like, yeah, just, you know, fry them up like you would. She's like, this is what you gotta do. You gotta get vegan mayo. I'm like, okay. And pickles. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah. And I literally have been eating that like damn near every fucking
Oh, I
night,
found the
bro.
siete,
Like, it
It's
is,
fire.
bro. I was like, this.
I gotta try.
I got the Dave's Killer Bread, the buns,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And I just make them. I put them on there. I cut them in half so there's more, and I stack them. And I just
So
put
it's just the
vegan bacon.
the vegan bacon,
the tempeh,
yeah, and then the pickle and vegan
pickle
mayo.
and mayo. And I found this mayo. I'll show y'all. I took a picture of it last night because I don't remember off the top what it's called, but it slaps. It was made with like avocado oil. So
I found
it's
the
dope. And
the
it's like you
siete
wouldn't even know.
nacho, the queso
I've
dip.
been looking for it everywhere. Where'd you find
Whole
it?
Foods.
Sprouts
Oh, Sprouts.
has it?
I know
And they
Whole
got
Foods
two.
keep them.
They got one that's the nacho, and they got the white, the spicy white blanco. I picked up the nacho one.
Y'all
And,
make me
uh,
hungry as hell right
Yo,
now.
listen, man, listen, like that, when you said that, because I was watching, my girl had got me the masterclass thing, and there was one on there. I love watching Hell's Kitchen. What's his new? Gordon Ramsay. So he has like a two class thing. Well, one of them is he was talking about his daughter didn't want to eat meat anymore, but she wanted a steak. So he was like, what the hell am I gonna do? And he did a cauliflower steak. And so, but that was the big takeaway. My point to that is the takeaway was he said that he was like, when you do these things for all you like people that are plant based or vegan or whatever, just cook it like you would normally cook.
See, I'll
And
be
so-
on the ride.
and
We trying to
so-
help
yeah,
y'all,
so-
man.
So
They
for me,
don't be
when I
listening
did
to
it,
you,
like
boy.
when I
Now
did it, it
Gordon
was
Ramsay
amazing.
said,
Like,
nah, it's the
no, I didn't know you did
Not
it when I
you,
did it. I
not
was about to
you.
say, I was
I'm
after
just
you
saying,
did it.
people always add, and I'm telling
Yeah,
them like,
yeah.
yo, season it like you season your meat,
Yeah.
and you will feel better. No, it's not gonna be exactly the same, but I guarantee if I made this and was like, here,
Bro,
you
the,
would be like,
the,
oh,
the fish
shit.
the fish sticks that I did fish sticks and fries just real quick because I knew I had to eat something,
Yeah.
and I literally felt like I was eating just regular, and I threw them in the air fryer, and then I just literally drizzled with a little bit of olive oil, and then I just boop, 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 put some seasoning on it, and just bro, I mean I was just like, yo, like, and I just kept eating. And then today, Ash found from I think it's from Lighthouse actually, it's it's literally like chicken and waffle, like the meat, the chicken, and but it's made to use for chicken and waffle. And she made it today, and she just gave me a bite. She's like, here, and I started eating. I was like, damn, this tastes like fried chicken. And then she was like, yo, this is it. I was like, yo, like this
That's what I was doing. The strips I told you about.
Yo,
And then
She
at
found some
Natural
vegan.
Grocers, they got vegan waffles, like
Yep.
different flavors. I buy those, and then I would just make the waffles and the chicken, and I had chicken and waffles. I do it all the time. Simple stuff.
yeah, no, that's why I called him, man, when I was in the store. I was like, hey, man, look, bro, I'm trying to make a change, step by step.
He's like,
And I
you
was
low
like-
key turning me. I'm
I was
like,
you
bro,
turning
I'm
me
just
out,
trying to
man?
help.
Like, the pause, no more. No, you know what I'm saying? But it's.
Wait a minute.
But I will say though, just before you say it, so the night before, remember I showed you I went to Hop Daddy, and I asked to do because I went in that night again. I was out late and I was like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna eat, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Hop Daddy. I'm gonna give me a burger, right? And so then I walked in when I was waiting in line. I was like, yo, I really don't want to eat a burger. Like I don't want like just the grease and all that. And I'm like, and their burgers are phenomenal. But I was like, you know what? I walked up. I said, hey man, I said, what's your best combination for the vegan burger? And he was like, I said, you guys used to have one that was like a purple burger or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, that was El Diablita. And he's like, well, we made a new one. It's a veggie patty, but we made it the El Diablo. And it's just it's the same thing. He's like, but I think it's better. So I was like, all right, put me on. So he made this concoction with it with avocado and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Man, yo, I smashed that burger. And then I didn't even get half because Ash saw
You
me
do what to the burger?
smash that burger, man. I'm talking about, and I only ate half because Ash ate the other half. She was like, that's vegan. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I want a bite. Killed it. And then afterwards, I told you, I woke up the next morning, man, my stomach was hurting. And then Ash was like, that's because you ate clean. And it was. Like, it cleans you out, man. Like, it's interesting when you said that I was on the phone with you. Like, it's because your body takes what it needs and then it dumps the rest. As opposed to regular food that it just sits and holds. And I struggle with that. Like, my body always holds everything. So I'm like, that's why for me, y'all, I'm not, listen, I'll be the first to tell y'all, I'm not I'm all vegan. No, but I'm taking
Gotta
steps
be.
to understand that, like, there's certain things like, yo, if I'm gonna eat this fried food, why not do an alternative that's better for me? And then it's okay for me to, like, if I want to dab into, some steak or some, whatever, and then it doesn't affect me and hurt me as much when I'm eating. But
Freddie be low key be on some vegan stuff too.
well, when you told me about the nuggets, I was like, yo, where'd you get the nuggets? He was like, I got
these chips.
Freddie
I'm
B,
like,
Freddie B low key to plug for the nuggets, and I was like,
oh yeah, because I told her, I said Trader Joe's to me got the best
chicken
vegan
Best chicken,
nuggets
yeah.
that like I have. No matter how many times you're like, you want the nuggets? I'm like, yup. So I haven't got to a point where I'm like, nah. I know other people make them, but those ones are fire, and I don't even be going to Trader Joe's.
Lighthouse got a bunch.
Lighthouse is by far, I think, one of my favorite vegan companies. Like everyone's like Beyond Me, I'm like, nah, bro.
What's the deal with soy?
Lighthouse
What's
is
the
the
deal
light.
with soy? Like I don't. Some people say it's bad for men. It's bad. Like what's the deal with it?
This is where I'm at.
Really?
Because
Okay.
I've asked the question and I've got both sides.
Interesting.
I've got that it's horrible and it's this and you're gonna have titties and I'm like, I think I'm good. I've been on it, and I've had bodybuilder dudes be like, nope, this is what it does.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It used to be this and
people
now
are
it's this.
sensitive to it. I think there's certain people that are really sensitive to it.
Like your body just
Yeah,
reacts a
just
certain way.
right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I like.
If I would have got, boobs like sag, like you know what I'm saying. If I look like I have 4 arms, then I'll be like, I'm off the soil.
But you don't need a lot of it, though.
BD
Yeah.
titties.
I don't.
Buffalo titties.
Yeah, I don't know what I would take. I mean, it's subjective to what's a lot. I really don't be checking for it like that. Like, I'm like, yo, I've been doing this. It didn't have, I've read things and I've asked and I've got answers. And I'm like, well, let me just see. And if my body's not doing that, then it's like, oh, soy's bad. And I'm like, well,
Well, I think
okay, so it's chemicals, but you still eat something with the red 40 and the yellow 5. So, like, sounds bad, but it's like, man, pick your poison.
I like your approach to it though. Like even when I asked you, when I started asking you about it, you were like, "Yo, man, my biggest advice to you is just listen to your body."
That's it.
And even just that, like, cause when I bought the Gardein style, I was like, "Damn, man, it's like $6-7 for like 6 straight." I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna kill through these," but I only had 3 today, and like I had 3 and like a small handful of fries, and it was like, damn, that's just what I needed. Like it gave me what I needed, and I was good. I went to the game today, and like I was chilling, and so. And then it's crazy because I've been craving empanadas. So like and like the Spanish empanadas or whatever, and I'm like, dang. But then it hit me. I was like, oh, I can do them because we did it. My mom makes her famous tacos. When she comes in May, I'll invite y'all, man. She gonna make them. But we did it for Ash last time. My mom, she calls it plastic food. She always like, it's plastic food, and I was like, Mom, just put it in there. So I cooked it up, and then she did it, and when I tasted it, and when it comes to my mom's tacos, like. I know my mom if she misses an ingredient, I know. But I took a bite out of these and I was shocked. I was like, yo, that's spot, because I didn't think it could be, and it was spot on. So now they sent me the Goya. Remember I was asking you about them? So I'm gonna make those with the Lighthouse ground beef and try to make some lamb. Because again, it's like you want to eat it, but it's already bad because you gotta fry it, right? So like if I'm gonna fry it, well then let me eliminate. You know what I'm saying? The other aspect of it, and at least it'll balance out.
It's
so
really
not
just subtle changes. That's why I'm trying to tell people. Like, oh, you want to fry something? Cool. I cook with avocado oil.
Mhm.
If you asked me 3 years ago, I don't know what the hell avocado oil is.
I
just know it's better than canola oil.
Yeah.
So let me get away from that. If I know better, then let me, right? And then you go to the store and you see all this grapeseed oil, this sunflower, and it's like, man, well, there's options, and maybe. The mindset is, well, this is what I know, or this is expensive. And it's like, yo, expensive to what? We talking about your health. And if you can do it, then do it from a financial standpoint. If you can't, then don't. But like,
or just budget it,
or budget it and try one thing that you never had before. Because everything I always have to say this, like, yo, I don't just be eating salads. You know what I mean? Y'all know. Okay, Arby's.
You got really good salads.
Who? They got a meat salad.
He couldn't even say that. Like the way he said it was so.
They got a meat salad at Arby's.
Chad's trying to get sponsored by Arby's. Chad's gonna roll up in here when we got the meat shirt.
Yeah.
My daughter says that. It's the funniest. She's like, Arby's, we have the meats. Bro, I looked. I was like, she was upstairs. I was like, what the
Like, you
hell
been
she
hanging
just
out with
say?
your Uncle Chad?
Yeah, that's exactly what I
yeah.
said. I was like, you just like your
Chad
Uncle
can't
Chad.
babysit anymore.
Yeah, you're not allowed, bro.
But that's, oh, jeez. But that's what it's about, like trying, you know what I'm saying, new stuff, and then being like, hey, this is good, this is not, my body liked it, my body didn't. Like,
That's the
cilantro is trash.
At least explore.
That's it. And then
Just
you
try
can
it.
balance how you want.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is a lot of times people just want to go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary tomorrow, Monday. I'm vegan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, by Tuesday night you're gonna be eating a whole steak
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a game plan, and you're not asking any questions. You just got scared from a documentary, and now you're trying to act on it. And it's like, yo, it's a process. So just enjoy the process, and then eventually you'll have a whole bunch of stuff to choose from, whether it's snacks, whether it's cookies, whether it's whatever,
That you tried
chips
out.
or crackers or whatever, right? Because even you said on the thing, you were like, oh, Ritz crackers are vegan. And I was like, dang, I like Ritz. But now that I've been eating these nature owned, I'm like, I don't need to go back because I know the ingredients over here are better. So, okay, I grew up on that, but that gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yo, my whole pantry is like back to nature.
yeah, bro.
The
shout out
Siete
back to nature.
chips,
Yeah.
and then the bro, I got the whole
They
collection.
make Siete,
Tortillas.
yeah.
That's how they started.
Yep,
That
but
was
I
their-
make mine by hand.
I'm just saying. I mean, you probably shitting on them, but I'm just saying
Nah.
they out there.
Listen, so
Nah,
far all their
you know what I
product is good. The cheese was amazing as well because I know you told me about that. But it is, man. It's just before you know it, you start looking at like the different changes and like it, you know, before like even for me, like my soda, you saw me drinking that. Like I switched from soda. That was a big thing for me. Started drinking the carbonated water, the bubblies, and the
trash
trash water.
That's
So-
water.
Yeah,
It's trash.
Bubbly? You don't like bubbly?
Nah,
Not that stuff he be drinking. You drink what he drink?
I just like regular.
No. Hold on. You say it like it's not the same.
I got the Costco brand in the house right now. but I
No, see
drink
that's the
bubbly all
problem,
the
bro.
time, too, right?
Listen, y'all gotta try
Beach.
the strawberry bubbly, man.
great.
That's yo.
By who?
It's bubbly. It's called
It's
bubbly.
called
the brand.
bubbly?
Yeah, bubbly's the
Because the
that's what I was
stuff he
drinking
buying
right
is not that.
Nah, so
I
the one-
tried it. Because I was like, yo, when I first was here, I was like, yo,
I
this
think
dude
I had the
every
ginger
day,
one.
he just like, pop, pop,
Nah.
pop. And I'm like, dang, it's like that? So now let me try one of them.
Yeah.
Do you not like
Alka
carbonated
Seltzer.
water?
It was Alka Seltzer. Bro, I love root beer.
I love root beer too.
All right. So it ain't the carbonation, it's
No,
trash.
I was just asking.
It
Like,
was just trash.
for me,
It's
I don't
fucking
like a lot.
water.
I don't like a lot of stuff like LaCroix, whatever, all that.
That
because
stuff.
yeah, all that stuff is nasty to me. But my sister put me on to this one, and when I took like you act like it has more of the flavor.
You
So
said
like
it
I feel
tastes
like
the
it.
same.
They do. I mean, it's carbonated water. It's.
There gotta be a
carbonated water,
difference.
but-
Y'all don't drink
This-
like infused water?
Yeah, so for me. So for
Well,
me,
what
that's
we
why.
talking about? What
Like
we
every
infusing?
morning I wake up and I have a mint plant that I get from Walmart that dies every 2 weeks. So I gotta get a new mint plant. So I put the
You know you got water, right?
yeah, dude. I've been trying,
Yeah.
but they don't make it. But so I get the mint, the ginger,
Mint's a weed. How do you kill mint?
And lemon.
and the lemon
Yeah,
every morning.
mint, lemon,
Right.
cucumber.
Every morning.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That shit
shit.
work.
Nah, I've done those too. I just for me like this is just like my fix for soda, like because it gives me because like I used to always tell you, maybe
It's
it's not
different,
it's the sugar you're chasing or maybe it's the carbonation that you're chasing. So for me, it really is. And then out of all the ones that I tried, I like this one because I feel like I actually get the taste of like a strawberry Sprite. You know what I'm saying? And because it has a little more flavor into it than the other ones that are just, or they have like that stevia where it's soda where it's like too much that fake. I don't know. I don't like that sugar taste or whatever. But
There's a company called, I think it's Zevia. They sell them at Sprouts in little cans.
yeah, that's the one I don't like.
And but there's one that's like blue and it's like cola. So it's like, I mean, for someone like Coke or whatever. I
Right.
don't like that one. I only buy the ginger mango one. It's the
Oh,
only
okay.
one I like. The rest of them I don't like. But I tried that one and I was like, yo, somebody wanted to get off of like Coca-Cola. This is like
That's the one.
the thing. You know what I mean? So there's that. I think that's it. Shit.
I'm more of a tea drinker.
Yo, I like you. You ever had AJ's tea?
This dude always something, bro. He juggles. Just give us the rest, bro. Give us the tea.
What?
I'm telling you, we need to
What
start
kind
a
of tea
podcast.
though?
Like hibiscus, or then,
Yeah.
and then you could put some cloves in it. You could do cinnamon. You could do all types of stuff with teas.
Yeah.
And
You drink it hot or
and then
cold?
I got like hot all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't.
mostly,
I don't-
mostly.
I
That's
don't-
like my
Even here in the
before-
summer when it's hot AF, you be like, give me some hot tea.
Yeah,
Just be
kinda.
sweating in the
Cause
tea.
it's like, well, being a
Put your salt
programmer,
in it.
it's like that's the first thing I always got had like.
Some
That's a
hot-
programmer thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
We out on it.
You do
Yeah.
like a
It helped
tea
you set the-
ceremony and stuff like that. You know how to do all that stuff.
You like twinkles it around.
Yeah.
Nah. Not
That
like
get out tea.
Draw the little, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The like leaf.
This is a real thing.
You can read the tea leaves and stuff.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah,
you
nah.
can. Ernest.
Nah, I just put it in the pot.
Oh yeah.
You got a tea set?
Huh? You got a tea set?
I got like a Mexican teapot. Well,
Yeah.
I think it's Italian. I'm asking.
That's
but-
definitely two
Some
different
Latino,
worlds.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right, right.
It's all
What
the
that nigga
same.
doing us, man?
But both use it. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much like the bottom part you put water in, and then the second part you put the herbs in, and then it rises to the top with the heat.
So it's just like how you make an espresso, like how Cubans make their
Pretty much
little
like that.
espresso
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So you got a go-to favorite tea you gonna share with the people, like something they should do at home?
Hibiscus maybe,
Okay.
and then you put like you put cinnamon in it, you put cloves in it, and I don't know, it's kind of like a elixir. So it tastes good though.
Apparently it teaches you how to juggle and it teaches you how to feel it, play the
Man,
game.
yeah,
Play
like-
ping pong.
No, is that a
Ping
dance
pong,
merengue?
whatever.
Yeah.
The merengue.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Every time this dude was in there juggling apples, y'all didn't see that because y'all was in here, but and hair ties. And I was like,
Azúcar. Ba-da-ba-ba.
how did we get here? You know what I'm saying?
You ever had AJ's tea? Their cold tea? You don't drink cold tea?
You ever had Arizona
Not
tea?
really.
Wait, what?
I always like make it.
Yeah.
I know
So they do.
make it,
They
but
do. a really
99
dope-
cent can.
They do a really dope like brew tea. And it's like
100 grams of sugar in
that.
that.
Okay. Yeah, mine's is normally like self-made.
Yeah. No, that's dope.
I got some recipes already. So.
Alright.
Hey, before we go,
Before we
I
go.
gotta tell you a story. So
I like stories.
because you brought up Gordon Ramsay.
Oh,
Did
that's
you
your
hear that
cousin.
his daughter died this week?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So she was playing. She's got a TikTok. She got a lot of followers on TikTok because she thought about him on his TikTok, on her TikTok. She played a prank on him where it was one of these water bottle ones where she had an egg and she pretended
Oh,
to put
yeah, I
the egg
seen
in
that,
there,
yeah.
right? And then, but she hid the egg, and then he went to look, and so she squeezed it, and she got the water all over his face, and then she cracked the egg on his head, and she ran away. And so people are like, oh my God, she's still running because if he ever catches her, he's going to kill her and stuff like that. And there's been this big thing like, do we need to start a GoFundMe for her? There's a whole thing going, but she's not actually dead.
Okay, we
Bro,
probably
you
should have
can't-
led with
you
that,
can't-
man.
dead.
Jeez.
Man, I'm out.
Man,
He's like, yo, she's dead. I'm like,
She's
I'm like, we about
If
to
you-
leave on
bro,
a sour
If you
note.
crack an egg on Gordon Ramsay's head, you're dead.
Not if you're his daughter. He probably treats her
He's
like
still
royalty.
chasing her.
Bro.
That's what
I
they're
thought
saying.
she was really dead.
I really
Right?
thought she
I'm
was
sorry.
dead
Yeah.
too, bro. I
Yeah.
felt really
Yeah.
bad.
That was the setup.
You set me up like he didn't even look at me in my eyes
Like
like
she died.
She
and,
died.
and I'm sitting here
You
with, I'm waiting for the catch. Like, okay,
Right in Gordon
she
Ramsay's
cracked the
face
egg.
like that.
And I'm like, well, how do you die from making a TikTok?
Right.
Unless you're doing some
Right.
ridiculous.
Why-
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you,
I heard
man.
about
That
it,
that
right.
TikTok one that's trash, bro. I beat the hell out of one of my kids that did that shit, man. Because it's
Now when
literally
them
like,
checks come in.
right? That is true.
Yeah, I know,
That is
I know.
true.
No, you won't. You be like,
Nah,
yeah,
they
let's
funny.
do this one together.
They-
Yeah.
Their
Yeah,
videos,
yeah.
like if you ever watch their YouTube stuff, it's funny, man. Like
Yeah.
when he's got to cook for them, they'll mess with him. They'll be like, "Man, you slow, Dad. Mom's better than you.
Yeah.
Mom's not even a chef." And he's just like, "I'm trying to work. I'm cooking 3 different meals. Oh, you gotta be." And she's like, "Whatever. Mom's in more control than you are. Mom doesn't make a mess like that." And they just, bro, they be like going at it. He be making these gourmet meals and everything. Like, bro, it'd be the funniest thing. That family is like super tight, man.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, at least we know she ain't.
Yeah. Shout out that
really
she's
dead.
not dead.
Right. Shout out.
Thanks, Frank.
But apparently, if you want to help save her, like donate to the GoFundMe.
She don't need
She don't need no more
GoFundMe.
money, man.
Get out of here with that. She don't need no GoFundMe.
Go fund us.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they do that at?
Yeah, right. Yeah, real. We're gonna get out of here. Shout out to the Body Butters. Y'all see them out there in the front. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
TheBodybutters.com. Get you
Yeah.
some new flavor, flavors, scents. I
Scents,
guess.
I guess. What are
Scents.
they?
There's
Peaches and cream.
peaches and cream, lemongrass,
There's another one.
baby.
Baby.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, no, don't. That's
Don't
not
do
for
that.
you, bro.
Nah, I
That's
was
for
about
baby.
business anyway. I'm trying to,
So you wanna
I'm
tell
trying
us?
to get the.
You trying to make babies?
No.
Yeah.
The sweatpants. The
Gray sweats. You know what I'm
Hey, man,
saying?
that
it's
was
up
good.
there. You want to smell?
Yeah, that's
Gray
what-
sweats
Gray
is dope,
sweats is
especially
where
with
it's at.
cologne too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it pairs well with cologne.
Gray sweats.
I
Get you
want to smell
some.
great sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Gray sweats. is
Hey,
my
I low
favorite.
key, I ain't gonna lie.
And lavender helped me go to sleep at night.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been,
But I'ma get this
low-key taking
lemongrass.
some of that,
Nah, it's
that,
good,
what
though.
is it? The strawberry shortcake from Ash. I be
Strawberry
like-
shortcake
I
slap
put it-
too.
Yeah, I be taking some. I be putting it on my hand, my face, and I just be like passing out. Fat kid syndrome, baby.
Shout out to Tish and the Body Butters, man. Body Butter, thebodybutters.com. Get you some. Don't be out here ashy. We too classy for that.
For real.
So we're gonna holler at y'all, man. We out here. Peace, love, and
Hello,
finance.
guys.
And shout out to Palm Trees. Shout out to the squad. Ernest, Chad, Dino, Freddie B. We out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're